The opening game of the 2021 football season, Red Hounds at home, friendly confines at Campbell Field, taking on the Cry School Greenies of North Carolina. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth here at the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. And JB, we are 5 minutes and change until we kick this one off. Before we get into the keys of the game,
yep,
I'm gonna cut you off.
There you go.
Got the cards.
I got it.
There are key losses. There are key graduation losses to fill on this roster. I can identify a couple off the top of my head. Got to replace the center.
Yep,
that's
exactly.
important. It's a very important quarterback chemistry and offensive line chemistry to replace your center. Who else on this Red Hound roster is critical to replace for the Red Hounds to have the success they're expected to have with this much talent?
Well, being a defensive guy, I always look to the defensive side of the football. And I think, yeah, exactly. Some of the a couple of the inside backers last year, and we definitely want to lock in there. And it's always fun to me to see the next man up mentality. A couple of guys graduate, a couple of guys move on, and you see who in for the Hounds comes up and steps up, fills that role, and you're hoping for somebody to be not even just as good, but even better. And I think the Hounds, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, loaded up this year. So to me, Ronnie, the two inside backer spots, out of that Hounds defense are really, really crucial. And it'll be fun to watch tonight to see how they kick off this football season.
Just touching on that point, what the Red Hounds are replacing inside at linebacker, having to now account for 218 tackles from a season ago.
Exactly.
That's Austin Lewis and Dawson Ford.
Yes.
Also up front, losing Logan Smith. You're losing your left tackle.
That's
which
right.
is the most trusted offensive lineman a quarterback can have, a right-handed quarterback anyways, which Cameron Combs is. So there you have it, JB. Less than 5 minutes to go. The students are on the field on the Spirit line. Give us the keys to victory tonight.
All right, first, JB, keys of the game of the season. Number one, offensively. We've talked about it all night in the pregame. You want to win the battle in the trenches, lean on that big offensive line, that big defensive line. Christ School got a lot of speed, so look for the Hounds to go right at the teeth of the Christ School football team tonight. Number two, defensively, you want the Greenies are from the Christ School. They're a fast-paced football team, so you want to slow them down, get them into Red Hound football, so no big explosive plays. Number three, as always, you can't win football games putting the ball on the ground, having a lot of turnovers and penalties. Of course, no turnovers, and limit those penalties. And then, number four, last JB keys of the game, huge opening night. You got the new lights, you got the new year. You just want to play smart, have a lot of fun, and, get this season kicked off right and, get this football season for a Hounds win.
Of course, there's your keys to victory with 3.5 on the field. The Christ School Greenies taking the football field, also their opening game of the season. The one thing you got to worry about when you find a team of this caliber with an opening on their schedule this early in the season, you got to wonder who was ducking these guys.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. How in the world did the varsity club and Coach Greer, find this school out of North Carolina? And you're exactly right. When you see that, talk about state champions and all that. So, these guys, from North Carolina, they're going to be a pretty good football team, no doubt about it, and a great test for the Hounds tonight.
This Coach Greer's second year at the helm. At the starter, you look at some key positions across the field. Again, we don't know a whole lot about this roster, not a lot of commonality in opponents, in fact, none, actually. But we do know just from message boards in the area of the internet, some of the highly recruited players on this roster. Number 12, A.J. Simpkins, he's a three-star quarterback, and he's a highly sought-after. I think he's ranked in the top 25 in pro-style quarterbacks for the class of 2022. Put up some monstrous numbers from a year ago on an 8-game season.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the Greenies are 6-2 last year, state champs. Looking at the stats from last year, we're able to find 68% completion percentage, almost 70%. So 7 out of the 10 balls that the Greenies throw, they're completed. So something that's almost unheard of in high school football. And then, so they sling the ball around, like to run it as well, and just really, really good athletes tonight. And it should be a great one, and it gives the Hounds a big test to see how they stack up in the state of Kentucky.
Everybody's busy right now, but we did not track down a lot of starting lineups. We've kind of hobbled one together, at least offensively. We'll give you the defensive starters. I don't know how many you're able to take down, but I do have at least offensively. Of course, Cameron Combs is coming back at quarterback, his third campaign under center for the Red Hounds. Wide receiver is going to be a mixed bag of players. Xander Curry, Brody Wells, Dakota Patterson, Carter Stewart, all expected to go out wide, as well as Travion Longmire, Ethan Gregory, and Seth Mills. Of course, he could also bounce out to wide receiver, expected to carry a load in the running back position. Of course, up front for the Hounds, Ethan Goforth, a right tackle, Hunter Heath, Eli Bolton, at right guard. Tucker Burns coming over to the offensive side. Again, he's a fifth-year senior. You do have the fifth-year option to come back if your season was marred due to COVID. He exercised that option. He's back for a fifth year for the Red Hounds, playing at center tonight at left guard. Hunter Heath, and at left tackle, I think is Big Frank West going to fill in that swing position, protecting the backside of Cameron Combs. That's your offensive unit. I'm sure there'll be more to give to you. This is a stacked roster the Hounds bring to the field.
Yes, exactly. You mentioned the Franklin West, number 74, the sophomore there for the Hounds. Last year came in kind of the middle of the season and played unbelievable. So look for Big Frank West, to really kind of mesh well with that veteran offensive line up front. And I expect big things from the Hounds offense, that's for sure.
Of course, the perennial thing that's known statewide and especially here locally to Corbin fans, the Red Hounds are extremely hard to beat in the Pigskin Classic. Last time they played an out-of-state team, they played Alcoa and sent them home with a loss.
Exactly.
So this is one of the toughest atmospheres to win in all of high school football in Kentucky. Hopefully Hounds put that to the test tonight and continue to demonstrate that.
Yeah, great atmosphere for football. Like we mentioned earlier, the big light show, Hounds coming out. I'm sure, being the Christ School, the Greenies from North Carolina, coming in here not knowing what to expect, probably pretty impressed. Like I said, we've even got the inflatables and the shaved ice machine across the way. So Varsity Club and the Hounds as a whole and this community just doing a great job to kick this season off right.
We'd like to thank our corporate sponsors, Appalachian Wireless, Pepsi Cola Bottling of Corbin, Mikasa, Hometown Bank, Owens, Auto Repair, Tri-County Cycle Sales, Kentucky Outdoorsman, Sonic Drive-In of Corbin, Wildcat RV and Marine, Sammy's Furniture, Pennington Wellness, and Jane's Family Practice are your corporate sponsors. Red Hounds won the toss, deferred till the second half. They're going to be kicking it away on the boot of Jacob Baker, highly sought-after recruit at the kicker, 4.5 stars. The offers will start pouring in this offseason for him.
Yes, they will. Jacob Baker, just a great kicker, a great weapon to have, and, probably going to start off trying to pin the Greenies deep right here, and going to be interesting to see if the Hounds have done their homework, who they're going to try to kick the ball to and, make run the football up the field right here.
Ball's teed up. Refs have blown this into play. Zach Myers back deep to receive for the Greenies. Baker will approach, put the toe to it. It's a high end-over-end kick spiraling towards the goal line. Fielded in the end zone. That's an automatic touchback in Kentucky high school rules. They'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Exactly. Best way to do it right there. Just kick one in the end zone, and we see Jacob Baker's as a weapon right there, getting the touchback. So, Hounds defense comes on the field ready to go, and just going to be, like we said a minute ago, going to be interesting to see those inside linebackers, how they kind of mesh and work in there and get this fast-paced North Carolina Christ Schools kind of in check right here.
Looks like Mikey Neal's going to open up inside at Mike linebacker. That's one question to answer to one question.
Yeah, Mikey Neal looking a little bit bigger in there, bigger and stronger, so always a good thing. Number 23, Brandon Baker as well in at the other backer right there.
A.J. Simpkins opens up in the shotgun. It's a flea flicker. Lets it fly. Hit as he thrown. He's got a receiver open. Hauled in and caught. Tripped up from behind down at the Red Hound 30-yard line. Wow, that is just a beautiful throw and catch. And he threw that under the gun. Actually hit as he let it go, and that ball sailed a good 40 yards in the air.
Well, talk about, one of JB Keys again. You don't want to have explosive plays, and right there on the first play of the game for the Greenies, a big explosive play to the wide receiver going right down the middle. Travion Longmire and Jacob Baker able to make the tackle, but not before the Greenies hit the Hounds with a big play right out of the gate.
1st and 10 at the Red Hound 28-yard line. Greenies going 5 wide receivers, trips to the right. Twins to the left, the long side of the field. Ball resting on the right hash. Brings a receiver in motion from the left to right. Resets at the running back spot in the backfield. Handoff going up the middle. No running room there. Going to be chopped down at the line of scrimmage. A host of Red Hounds there to make the stop.
Wow, good job right there. Braden Reynolds coming in, number 41. Number 23, Brandon Baker, new linebacker in there for the Hounds as well. So good job up front by the defensive line and the linebacker core for the Red Hounds.
Braden Reynolds, tremendous offseason for him. Actually, one of the strongest players in Corbin school history on 3 lifts.
Yes, unbelievable. Just, straight power coming off out of his stance right there in the middle of that Red Hound defense.
Carter Sevier, of course, returning to action. Brutal leg injury at the end of his season. Handoff going across the left side.
There we go.
Not a lot of running room there. Going to be drugged down in the backfield for a loss.
Wow. Big stop in there. Mikey Neal getting off the pile. Looked like number 41 again, Braden Reynolds. Number 54, Big Joe Brown in there as well. So, we talked about it. The Greenies are a really athletic football team and like to throw the ball. And may have to, go to just throwing the football all the time because the Hounds defense up front really playing well so far.
Tight end checking into the football game for the Christ School, Gary Berardi, 6'7", 240.
Wow.
Definitely going to be eyeing him down in the passing game. Christ School lining up in the shotgun. Wing to the right, that's the big tight end. Twins to the left, running back offset to the left. Low snap, digs into the pocket. It's a screen. Got some running room, hauled it at the line of scrimmage, cuts back at the 20, cuts back again at the 15, at the 10, going to walk it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow. And I tell you right there, Ronnie, what that looks like to me is that's where that speed pays off. You send a couple of the receivers deep, and then you work underneath with that screen, and that's exactly what the Greenies did right there, and dumped it off to the tailback, like you said, with the screen, and then, the Hounds unable to come up and make a good tackle in space. So, again, that speed and that athleticism paying off right there for Christ School and the Greenies.
Bryce Zane, the running back, hauling it in on the middle screen and taking it to the house from 26 yards out. Will be on to add the extra point in PAT formation. Kick is up and away. It's through the uprights and good. So 10:09 remaining in the first quarter. Christ School strikes first. They're on top 7-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
It happened. They're probably looking at that 6'7" tight end. 10:08 remaining in the first quarter. The Christ School Greenies strike first. 26-yard middle screen taken to the house for a touchdown. They lead the Red Hounds 7-0. Lots of football on deck to play here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. 7-0 Hounds are trailing again. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. As Christ School, they've had their chance with the football. Very explosive. We've seen that. Now it's the Hounds' turn to open it up offensively.
Yeah, right here, Travion Longmire deep. Let's see if they've heard of Travion. See if they kick him the football right here out of the gate. So it should be fun.
Matthew Hamill approaches, puts the toe to it. It's a low line drive kick. Going to be fielded and bobbled back at the 5. Now he's up to the 10. Submarine down around the 16-yard line. Just couldn't haul it in very cleanly and really slowed him down from getting mooted there. Dakota Patterson just couldn't get it going.
Yeah, not really right there. Like you said, a little bit of bobble of the football off the kickoff. And once he come up with it, was able to kind of get a little bit of steam going. But, right here, Hounds looks like right around the ball's going to be started right around the 18-yard line. So see if Cam Combs and company in the offense can get this Red Hound football team moving.
Combs going to open up the season in the shotgun. That's what he'll be the remainder, most of the season anyway. He's got 5 wide receivers, trips out to his right, twins to his left. Empty backfield. Takes the snap, direct quarterback keeper.
Wow.
He gets rocked at the line of scrimmage. Wow, he took a shot. Big middle linebacker, and Jeannie Jacobs came in and leveled him.
Yeah, tough shot right there by Cam Combs, just sitting back there in the gun, and almost like the Greenies had a spy on Cam. And I tell you, Cam took a couple steps towards the line of scrimmage, and then, like you said, Ronnie, a big shot right there. So, Hounds reset right here. Second down, looks like second and 11. So, see if the Hounds can reset and do something on second down.
Bring Seth Mills in at running back. Still keeps 4 wide receivers out. High snap, handoff, counter tray going up to the teeth of the defense, and there's no running room in the middle. These are some big defensive linemen for the Greenies.
Yeah, big guys up front. Hounds got a lot of big guys up front too, but so far, first couple of downs, the Greenies, winning the battle in the trenches. And like we said, the Hounds need to win the battle in the trenches offensively and defensively. But so far, the Greenies has forced a third down right here.
Patterson out wide. He's macked up with Quentin Cancel, cornerback committed to Ole Miss University. That's a key matchup to watch tonight. Handoff going up the middle to
There we
Seth
go.
Mills. Got some running room. tripped and landed. The ball came out. Cannot tell if the ground caused the fumble. The officials are going to call that a fumble. So that's a turnover. He had the first down yardage on the carry, but coughed it up at the end of the run. Again, you touched on at the start of the broadcast, turnovers, cannot have them against a team like this.
Exactly. You got a fast-paced team like this, no turnovers. You want to own the time of possession, and especially down here in your own, in the Hounds territory right here. So, Hounds defense come out right here, stop the run pretty good on that first possession by the Greenies. So just got to settle in right here defensively and get a good stop.
Christ School going to take over on the Red Hound 31-yard line. Already knocking on the red zone to start their second possession of the football game. A.J. Simpkins remains in at quarterback, 4 wide receivers, 2 split out each side. He's got his running back in the backfield, brings the slot in motion, fakes the handoff, sets the throw, lots of time, fires the wheel route down the sideline. He's wide open, hauled in and caught at the 10-yard line where he's forced out of bounds. Boy, that was another misread there in coverage, and that was just an easy pitch and catch.
Yeah, exactly, an easy pitch and catch. Brody Wells able to kind of get up there and make the tackle in space, but not before, like you said, the wheel route coming off around the left side right there. Again, using those receivers to run off the corner, run off the safeties deep, and then coming underneath with that wheel route. And Simpkins, usually you make it that easy for him. He's going to deliver the football right there.
First and goal at the Red Hound 8-yard line. Greenies remain in the shotgun, actually now going to drop down to the pistol. Now an offset gun look, one running back to the left. Sets the throw, looks to fire over the middle of the slant route. Cannot hook up. They're in the little slant bubble concept here. Close to the end zone, could not find a receiver open out in the secondary.
Yeah, nobody open right there. Hounds had pretty good coverage on the back end. Looked like number 6 Jacob Baker, number 15 Evan Poore doing a pretty good job right there to kind of bracket the receiver, one on the inside, one on the outside, and a really good job right there by the Hounds defensive backs.
Second and goal at the Corbin 8. Haven't seen anything other than shotgun from this offense thus far.
Exactly.
That's what he'll remain on second down. His big tight end is checked into the game. He's lined up at the wing to his left. He brings a slot in motion from right to left to reset. He makes trips to the left. Fakes the handoff.
There we go.
Actually gives it away, and he's going to be wrestled down in the backfield for a big loss. I think that was Joe Brown surging through there. He's making his impact known early in his debut.
Wow, Big Joe Brown right there coming off the edge and making a huge play. And then you've got a critical third down right here. The number 20, the running back for the Greenies right there, saying really quick inside, but not a big guy. So Joe Brown right there coming off the edge. And like I said again, Ronnie, third down right here. The Hounds come up with a big defensive stop right here and can kind of turn the momentum a little bit.
Biggest play so far. Only 7:42 remaining in the first already. Simpkins remains in the shotgun. Twin wideouts each side. His running back is to the left. Takes the snap, sets the throw. Got some time. Looking. Fires to his tight end in the flat. He'll haul it in and walk it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow. Again, number 23, Brandon Baker on the coverage right there, look like. But, again, we mentioned that big tight end right there, just kind of using his body almost like a basketball move, kind of, pinning the defender to the end zone. And then Simpkins just delivers for the Greenies, delivers a great throw. And just a big guy right there to make the touchdown catch for the Greenies.
Matthew Hamill on to kick the extra point away. It's up and through the uprights. Good. 7:27 remaining. Hounds down 14-0 to start the Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. It's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Man. Like 52,000 or something like that. Not for them. 7:27 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds found themselves in a hole early. They trailed the Christ School Greenies 14-0 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And you touched on it in the broadcast, JB. You cannot give extra possessions to a team like this, and the turnover has put them in a 2-score deficit. Definitely have to respond here.
Yes, exactly. You're looking right here, kicking off the season down 14-0 early in this first quarter. Plenty of time left, but Hounds need to respond right here.
Hamill puts the toe to it again. Another line drive kick going to be hauled in and caught. Looks like that's Mills out there at the 15, up to the 20, at the 30. Lots of running room. Picks up a block at the 40. 30-yard line. That's the shot in the arm the Red Hounds needed. Big return from Seth Mills.
Yeah, you said it right there, Ronnie. Just what the doctor ordered, just a big shot in the arm, and Seth Mills kind of breaking free. Good blocking on special teams, and couldn't have come at a better time. Hounds, now got the football in a great spot right here to respond to that 2-touchdown deficit.
Definitely an opportunity to cut into this 2-touchdown deficit. Already in field goal range. Baker can hit from here, has hit from here in the past. I think we're going to just a call on the field to reset the play clock. 7:16 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds are down 14-0 to the Christ School Greenies, but marching, knocking at the red zone at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me here. Hounds been running the football. Maybe a play action across the top right here. Take the top off of the defense for the Hounds.
Combs in the gun, trips to his right. Takes the snap, handoff, going to Gregory up the gut. Got some running room at the perimeter at the 30, marching ahead. Finally chopped down at the 22-yard line. Gain of about 7 or 8 on the carry, and finally offense kind of churning to life here for Corbin.
Wow, big offensive line, getting some good blocks up front. Ethan Gregory getting behind that big red wall and, picking up about 8 or 9. So off that left side behind big Franklin West and then number 61, Hunter Heath. So good job up front by the Hounds offensive line, and a really good job right there by Ethan Gregory to make a couple cuts and get what he could right there to move the football down the field.
Christ School elects to take a timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. 6:54 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds are down 14-0, but driving. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Is Braden Reynolds a running back?
Wow.
Gain of 1, it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Six minutes and change remaining in the first quarter. Hounds trailing 14-0, facing 3rd and 1 at the Christ School 21-yard line. Wildcat formation almost. He's got Reynolds checked in as defensive tackle at fullback. Brings Longmire in motion, fakes the handoff, elects to keep it up the gut. Got a big surge up the middle. Does Combs. That's enough for the Red Hound first down to the Christ School 15-yard line. Gain of 6 there on the quarterback keeper. And you don't see Braden Reynolds cross the dark side to the offense very often, but you can see why he was there.
Yeah, exactly. That was the wow right there. Braden Reynolds sitting in the backfield, and I tell you, he created the seas parted right there with Braden Reynolds. Just a good explosive block, and then Cam Combs gets in right behind him, and first down Hounds. So good job right there by Braden Reynolds to kind of lead Cam Combs up in there for that first down.
1st and 10. The Christ School 15-yard line. Combs in the shotgun, high snap. Quarterback keeper across the left side. Got some blocks down to the 10. Plowing ahead to the 5, all the way down to the Greeny 2-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 12 or 13 on the quarterback keeper. And it seems like at the start of every season, we say Cameron Combs is not going to be called on to run the ball a whole lot, and he's always the leading rusher in the opener.
It always is, and, he knows how to find a crease in there. Cam Combs, again, the last 2 carries, just doing a great job. And, again, another one right there, Franklin West, lead blocking for Cam Combs, getting a big hit right there, and then resetting and then finishing another player off. So good job, again, by big Franklin West, number 74, up in there blocking for the Red Hounds.
Good spot here down on the goal line. 1st and goal from the 1. Wildcat formation, but Combs does remain at quarterback. Brings Longmire across the formation, fakes the handoff and keeps it across the right side. No gain there. He's going to be checked down at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd and goal from the 1.
Yeah, almost using a little jet motion action, coming across, faking the jet motion, then getting in there behind that big offensive line. And, again, just kind of banging it up in there, almost asserting your will. Say, we're going to run the football. Hounds are going to run the football. Are you going to stop it? And I tell you what, right here, 2nd and 1, look for the Hounds to hit it up in there again to put their first score on the board for this 2021 football season.
Under centered goes Combs. Pro formation. Turns around, hands it off straight ahead to Mills. Looks like he's in there for the touchdown. Opening touchdown of the Red Hound football campaign goes to Mills on the 1 yard over the line of scrimmage dive for the 1 yard touchdown. Hounds cut into this deficit.
Yeah, right there, Seth Mills just kind of selling out, going over the top and gets flipped up, holds on to the football and goes across the goal line. So huge drive. Like you mentioned, Ronnie, a few minutes ago, the Hounds need to respond, and they most certainly did right there and put points on the board. So great job by the Hounds offense to respond with a touchdown.
Baker on to add the extra point. Kick is up and away, rocketing through the uprights to make it 14-7. Hounds are down, but they've bit into the lead. 4:11 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Yeah.
4:11 remaining in the first quarter. Fast-paced football here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. Hounds trail 7-14, but cut into that 14-0 deficit on the 1 yard Seth Mills touchdown run. Baker on to kick it away for the Red Hounds. Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett here in the T107 broadcast booth. Ball's teed up. Baker on the approach, puts the toe to it high, end over end kick, driving the receiver back down to the back of the end zone. 2nd touchback for Mr. Baker. And we touched on the broadcast. I can't say it enough. He's a weapon.
Yeah, unbelievable. Hey,
unbelievable kicker.
Like you mentioned, the Ray Guy camp. There's a reason he was at the Ray Guy camp, and right there you're seeing it. I mean,
there's no bums there.
No, just touch. Last time we checked, I know Ray Guy's an older fella, but he is in the NFL Hall of Fame. So,
exactly. How many punters are known for being legendary?
Exactly. So, you're Jacob Baker. You go to the Ray Guy punting school right there, punting camp. You've got a special talent, and most certainly he does. That's for sure.
3rd offensive possession. Quarterback change for the Greenies. Trey Monty lined up at quarterback. Did not know they spelled quarterbacks. Low snap. Fakes the handoff. It's a read option. He's going to be hammered at the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
Hounds not biting on the read option. That's just not there.
Yeah, Hounds doing a really good job against the run, and, they can figure out that pass game. They'll really have something going right there. Big Joe Brown, again, number 54, that right defensive end, making a play on the edge. And looks like Simpkins coming back in. I figured probably if they switch quarterbacks, he's probably going to do some kind of speed option run type thing, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Simpkins checking back in at quarterback. He's got a running back flanking him on either side. Twins to his right, one lone wide receiver to his left. Takes the snap, sets the throw, all receivers left. He tucks and runs it. Got some wiggle room, slides down to the ground. right around his own 26-yard line. Going to pick up about 5 or 6 on the quarterback scramble. Brings up a big third down here.
Yeah, huge third down right here. Pretty good job in coverage over the top by the Hounds and underneath as well. And Simpkins being a veteran quarterback there for the Greenies, he's just going to pull it and take off and see what he can get. And right there, 4 or 5 yards. Hounds come up, rally to the football, make a good tackle in space, and a huge third down right here for the Hounds defense.
3rd and 4 would be the first stop for this defense of the night. Of course, one of those possessions was backed up in their own red zone. Simpkins remains in the shotgun on short distance. Got a tight end and 3 wide receivers. Checks his running back, resting to his right side, closest to the trips. Handoff up the middle.
There we go.
Bounces out to the sideline, breaks a tackle, gets level. Corbin sideline, he got demolished. Out on the run. Hounds defense holds.
Wow, number 4 right there coming in. Looked like Brody Wells, Braden Reynolds again, Mikey Neal in there, just a bunch of Hounds swarming to the football. And I tell you what, the Greenies from Christ School, they've thrown the ball around a little bit, but they are doing nothing in the against running the football against the Hounds defense tonight.
Punt formation. Mills is back deep, standing on his own 40-yard line. Of course, he was recipient of a couple Division I offers in the offseason as well. High snap, hauls it in, puts the toe to it. High spiraling kick, going to stay away from it. Takes a little bit of a greeny roll. Going to come to rest right around the Red Hound 39-yard line. So excellent starting field position for Corbin. You can kind of start to feel the momentum change here at Campbell Field. Hounds fell down early, 14-0. Get a score, get a stop, and now their 3rd offensive possession of the game, trying to even this thing up.
Yes, exactly. We talked about that a little bit. You're going to throw your right hook, you're going to throw your left jab, and I tell you, both teams kind of jabbing back and forth right here. But now, the Hounds, like you said, get that stop right there on the 3rd down, and got the football in really good shape right here to try to put some more points on the board for the Hounds offense.
Combs going to open up out of the shotgun. 5 wide receivers, empty backfield. He's kept it here. No pass attempts on the game. Going to keep it as well. Not a lot of running room. He's going to be drugged down in the backfield. No gain on the play. Here's the curious thing. I kind of hinted at it. No pass attempts so far.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about in the beginning of the broadcast, a lot of the weapons, Dakota Patterson, Travion Longmire, all the Brody Wells, all the weapons the Hounds have. And, so far, they've been pounding the rock. So be interesting to see if they start to throw the ball downfield.
2nd and 10. Got a good spot there. Was hit in the backfield. Guess he fell forward to make even with the line of scrimmage. Operating out of the shotgun here on 2nd down. Scott Mills joining him in the backfield as his running back. Twin wideout split out each way. Takes the snap, fires the stop route. Hauled in and caught by Longmire. He's going to be drugged down by his neck.
Wow.
At the 44-yard line, gain of about 5 on the pitch and catch. Sets up a very important 3rd down here for this Corbin offense.
Yeah, number 22, Cooper Perrone for the Greenies right there comes up and just really puts a big hit right there on Travion. But does get it to 3rd and manageable, out 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 right here. So gives the Hounds kind of a chance to reset right here on 3rd down, pick up the 1st down and keep moving downfield.
3rd and medium, same formation, twin wideouts each side. Combs takes the snap, play action, rolls to his right, fires over the middle, got a receiver, hauled it and caught down inside the Greeny 40-yard line. Looks like that's Carter Stewart, his first reception on the season. That was a good throw.
Yeah, really good throw right there. Cam Combs, the Greenies kind of sitting in a zone. And then I tell you what, number 19, Carter Stewart, kind of found the soft spot in that zone down the right side. And Cam Combs delivered a strike and moved the chains for the Hounds. 1st down, Red Hounds right here.
1st and 10 at the Christ School 44-yard line. Hounds not going to let the quarter expire. Actually, just going to do a hard count here as the clock expires on the 1st period of play. 1 in the books. It's been fast-paced football here at the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. Your score, the Christ School 14, Corbin 7, but they've got the ball and they are driving. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means two things: hunting season and it's football time in the bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on US Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Start of the second quarter, 12 minutes on the clock. Hounds trailing 7-14 to the Christ School Greenies. Got the ball at the Christ School 44-yard line. Combs hands off up the gut, plows ahead to Mills. He surges ahead to right around the 30. Looks like the 34-yard line, so might have picked up a gain of 2 or 3 on the carry.
Yeah, just a couple right in there, but a good thing that, the Hounds can do. We talked about that, on the line of scrimmage, on the trenches, so to speak. Hounds keep pounding the rock, kind of hopefully wear down that front, I should say, of the Greenies defense. But like how the Hounds have come out right here and started to attack.
This is an impressive-looking roster, but not a lot of depth. Combs keeps it on the quarterback draw. Had some running room across the left side, drug down from behind at the Greenie 30-yard line. Again, that's going to be a gain of about 3 or 4 on the carry. Brings another 3rd and medium.
Yeah, exactly. Just a 3rd and manageable right here, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And,
field goal range, though.
Yeah, exactly. You can always bring in the weapon, the leg, Jacob Baker, to punch one through. That's right. So really good job right here. See if the Hounds can move the chains right here on 3rd down. 3rd
and about 4. Combs takes the snap, fires the tunnel screen out to the left, hauled in by Patterson. Wow. He's dragging DBs with him. It's good enough for first down yardage down to the Christ School 20-yard line. Gain of about 10 on the pitch and catch, and that's a Red Hound first down.
Yeah, wow, just getting it out right there to Dakota Patterson and the little rocket screen out in the flat there. And I tell you, he knows what to do with it. Puts the ball away, heads downfield in a hurry, and picks up the first down. So first down right here. Hounds moving into the red Hound zone, if you will, and looking to tie this football game up right here.
That's a matchup we told you to watch for. Dakota Patterson on Quentin Cancel. Cancel is a cornerback out of North Carolina, obviously committed to Ole Miss University as an athlete. Patterson winning the battle there. Combs low snap, digs it out of the dirt, handoff straight ahead. Going to be hit at the line of scrimmage. Second effort might have picked up a yard or 2. I think that was Gregory on the carry.
Yeah, I think so. Ethan Gregory just kind of hitting it up in there between the tackles and, 2 or 3 yard gain right there. You always want to see the running backs break it big. But I tell you what, this kind of running attack, just, real methodical, just banging away up front. And, right there, number 32, Ethan Gregory getting behind that line and picking up the tough 2 or 3 yards.
2nd and 7. 3 wide receivers. Combs drops it, keeps it himself across the left side. Not a lot of running room there. He'll pick and shuffle forward down to about the 11 or 12-yard line. So made a lot out of a little there. Picked up about 5 on the carry. Brings up 3rd and short, maybe 2 to convert.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't think he had a lot around that left side, but Cam Combs just kept his feet moving, kept churning, getting behind those shoulder pads and doing a good job. And again, we've talked about that the last 2 drives, Ronnie, right here. 3rd and very manageable, just 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. When you get in those situations on those 3rd and shorts, it makes it a whole lot easier to kind of call plays, run the offense. You're never behind the chain. So really good job by the Hounds offense.
Comes under center, offset I formation, going to keep it himself up the gut. How about a quarterback sneak there on about 3rd and 2? Initial spot, looks like he got it. He's plunged ahead just inside the 10-yard line of the Christ School.
Wow, good job again, Cam Combs. And, you think about, Coach Elam over on the sideline calling the offensive plays. Not afraid to send Cam Combs up in there. We've seen all night long and last year as well. And Cam Combs doing a good job running the football tonight.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Combs remains in the shotgun. Got defenders in the neutral zone. Again, Many of you know Kentucky high school football, you can't get back. Once you break that plane, it's a foul.
That's right, and, as another JB keys to the game. Hadn't been a whole lot of penalties, but every yard you can get in a football game like this is very important, and so the Hounds will take it right there and move another few yards towards that end zone. So good job by the Hounds offensive line to kind of sit in there and get the free 5 yards.
Half the distance to the goal, renders it on the 4-yard line. Combs remains in the shotgun. Handoff across the left side to Mills. He's getting strung out, going to lose some yards. Might have lost 2 or 3 on the carry, still second down.
Yeah, talked about, in the pregame show there, the Christ School Greenies like to run that 3-man front, but they'll blitz a backer in there. And right there, a backer come off the left side of the Hounds offense and kind of forced Seth Mills to make a couple cuts. And by that time, you're facing a team that's that good. They're going to track you down pretty fast.
Only losing 2, so second and goal from the 6. Combs remains in the gun. Handoff goes to Mills, turf monster.
Wow.
Going to get the tackle there. He slips on his own footing, falls down in the backfield, going to lose a couple as well. So now sets up a very difficult 3rd and 8. The yardage you made up for there in the penalty is now rendering us a very long 3rd down to score.
Yeah, exactly. A big 3rd down right here for the Hounds offense. We saw the Greenies from Christ School, North Carolina, create that 3rd down earlier in the game and put points on the board. So the Hounds right here, 3rd down, see if they can respond.
5 wide receivers for Combs. Trips to his right. Patterson, one of those trips, sets to throw. Fires. Looking back at the end zone, trying to hook up with Patterson, in and out of the hands of Quentin Cancel, the defensive back. Incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Got to think Hounds are going to kick it here.
Yeah, it looks like Jacob Baker going to come in maybe and try the field goal. And, we saw Jacob Baker last year, just kicking the ball well all season long. He got touchbacks, punts, kick, extra points, field goals, just can do it all. So Jacob Baker looking to move the Hounds a little bit closer on the scoreboard right here.
Baker, right-footed kicker, going to be kicking from the left hash. Ball resting at the 9-yard line. About a 26-yard attempt. Has been good from 49. Combs to hold, snap is down, kick is up and away. It's a low line drive off his foot, but it's good.
Wow.
8:40 remaining in the first half. Corbin trails 14-10 to the Christ School Greenies. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Good summertime treat.
I'd want this Red Bull Summer Edition slush the middle of the day when I'm really just wanting to clock out, but the clock's still going.
Yeah, it can help fight that 3 o'clock feeling. Sonic Red Bull Summer Edition slush.
It'd cool me off and then light me back up.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
1 banana pudding shake.
Cutting the bananas right now.
Someone got those vanilla wafers?
Almost ready. 1 banana pudding shake. Order up.
On this grass. Yeah. 8:34 remaining in the first half of play. Hounds pull closer to the Christ School Greenies. They trail 10-14 on the 26-yard field goal from Jacob Baker. Now he's on to kick it away. Back deep for the Greenies. Looks like number 2, Zach Myers. Also number 20, Bryce Sane. He's got a touchdown on the night, 26-yard halfback screen completion to him to open the football game. Ball is teed up. About to put in play. Baker on the approach. Kicks it away. It's another high end-over-end kick. Going to drive the receiver back to the goal line where it is a touchback. Again, this is another funky Kentucky high school rule. Once it breaks that plane, so to speak, it's a dead ball. So 3 kickoffs, 3 touchbacks for Baker so far.
Can't do any better than that. Perfect on the night. 3 kickoffs, like you said, 3 touchbacks, and then you throw in the field goal as well. So Jacob Baker, all we said and more in the broadcast right there, and attending the Ray Guy camp, and just one of the best punters in the state, if not the nation, that's for sure. So
the best.
Yeah. So
posture.
Exactly. So Jacob Baker just killing it tonight on the special team side of the football for the Hounds.
Christ School takes over. They've started every drive that wasn't, product of a turnover on their own 20-yard line by virtue of these touchbacks. Very explosive offense, though. Simpkins operating out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers, got his tight end tucked in at a wing. Low snap, ball is on the ground, going to have to try to recover it. Joe Brown's back there, and a host of Hounds there to punish him down to the ground. Now, Joe Brown debut of the night so far.
Yes, exactly. Big Joe Brown coming off the edge, sophomore for the Hounds, and coming off that edge, yeah. Big Franklin West, number 74 on the offensive side, the big sophomore, and their 54, Joe Brown on the outside defensive end for the Hounds, doing a great job. And, we've talked about, Christ School trying to run the football in there, and, maybe a token run, if anything, probably we're going to see all night long. They're going to look to air this football out, that's for sure.
Definitely talented in the passing attack. Simpkins, 3-star quarterback, highly sought-after recruit, class of 2022. He operates out of the shotgun. He's got trips to his right. 4 wide receivers on the field. Snap is behind him. It's on the ground. He's retreating to get it. Ball's in the end zone. He's going to be tackled. I think he made it out of the end zone. Very smart play there. Finally makes it out to his own 3-yard line. That's a very cerebral play from your quarterback there.
Yeah, just, like I said earlier in the broadcast, a wily veteran there, Simpkins, just taking care of the football. And, something bad happens, you want to erase that as quick as you can. So Simpkins finding the football and just trying to make sure there was no turnover. But I tell you what, the Hounds kind of almost sense that the Greenies from Christ School are going to try to throw this football. And they've got their hand in the dirt, trying to rush that passer and get him on his back. So great job right here bringing up a 3rd and long for the Hounds defense.
The first third and a very cheap cab ride of the season has appeared. 3rd and 28. Christ School backed up on their own 2-yard line. Again, this is a team that can throw the football very long, have done so already. Simpkins operating out of the shotgun, flanked by a running back on either side. Looks like there's a flag on the play. I believe that's going to be a false start. Oh, it could be a delay of game. Delay of game going against the Christ School. That's a 1-yard penalty. They don't care. They want to get it right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, moving a little bit, but, again, the Hounds take every yard they can get right here. And I'm sure, looking out here on the field, big number 54, Joe Brown, got his hand ready to go get Simpkins again. So 3rd and long right here. Crowd really getting into this football game.
Not give up a screen here. That is how they scored. Tosses on the jet sweep. He's careening towards the sideline, eludes one tackler up to the 10, 15 where he's hit out of bounds. That's more than short to not convert the sticks. Brings up the Christ School punting unit for the 2nd time on the evening. The Red Hound defense holds. Boy, here's an X factor that we couldn't count on in this game right now, and it's the field's getting wet.
That's right.
Field's getting wet.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Exactly. Getting ready to be, it's a slippery track out there, and on that play right there, Brody Wells knocks the runner out of bounds, but look, kind of just creating a little room to punt the football right there. So Hounds momentum really rolling right now with the Red Hounds.
Christ School on to kick it away. Jovan Hudson, the punter, high snap, careens it, kicks it away. It's an end-over-end kick. Going to hit and take a neutral bounce, just kind of die where it landed. Already in Christ School territory right around the 47-yard line of the Greenies. So great field position here for Corbin to take over.
Yeah, it almost seems like, we talked about momentum. The Greenies from Christ School had it early. Now the Hounds have kind of flipped the momentum. Got the football right here, 1st and 10, right about midfield. So, the offense, the Mr. Momentum kind of flipping towards the Hounds for sure right now. So it'd be awesome to see right here, 6 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter. Hounds put some points on the board and take the lead. That's for sure.
1st and 10 at the Christ School 47-yard line. Hounds trail 10-14 with 6:17 remaining in the first half. Combs operating out of the shotgun, trips to his right, running back to his right, takes the snap, handoff to Mills.
There we go.
Got some running room at the 45, takes a shot and keeps his feet all the way down to the 41-yard line. Going to pick up about 6 yards on the carry on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, really good run right there by Seth Mills, just attacking the teeth of the Greenie defense. And, offensive line moving people out of the way right there, having the free safety having to come up. Number 4 looks like Javon Hudson for the Greenies having to come up and make a tackle. So anytime you've got a safety having to come up and make tackle, you're moving the football really well on the ground.
2nd and 4, Hounds remain in the shotgun. Same trip set. Gregory checks in at running back to Combs' right. Low snap. Keeps it. Fires out in the flat. Got Patterson at the 40, at the 35, down to the 30-yard line. Making it happen for the Red Hound 1st down. Another big gain of about 11 on the screen. And Patterson, as prognosticated, starting to open up with the single coverage.
Exactly, and love the play action to kind of get the backers in the corners to kind of squeeze down on it, and then you hit Dakota out there with the rocket screen, and he, again, knows what to do with it, gets north and south in a hurry, and moves the chains for this Hounds offense.
Hunter Newberry checking in at wide receiver to the right. Trips to his left. Combs in the shotgun. Gregory flanking him to his right at the running back position. Hard count. No bite from the defense checking over on the sideline. Also Carter Stewart, Xander Curry checking in at wide receiver. Combs again in the shotgun. Takes the snap, quarterback keeper to the right, away from the trips, picks up a good block, lowers his shoulder out of bounds, right around the Christ School 25-yard line. Gain of 5 from the quarterback keeper, sets up 2nd and 5.
And right there, Ronnie,
Only gave him 3.
Yeah. Oh, wow, bad spot right there, exactly. Thought he had about 5 right there, but love the way that Cam Combs finished the run. You know, a lot of times you'll see quarterbacks step out of the bounds or, you know, kind of get out of harm's way, but just lowers his shoulder, and all he gives the defender is knee pads, shoulder pads, and lowers the boom on the Christ School defender.
2nd and 7 at the Christ School 27-yard line. Hounds trail 10-14. Knocking on the red zone. Takes the snap, sets the throw, clean pocket, sets his feet, fires over the middle. No one home. Might have been throwing that one away. Incomplete.
Yeah, probably so right there. Just kind of selling almost into the goalpost area right there. So probably really good decision by Cam Combs. Just kind of didn't see anything. And, you know, you throw the ball away, you know, reset right here on 3rd down. One positive for the Hounds right there again, though. Really good protection by that big offensive line. Cam Combs had plenty of time to make his choice, make his decision, but, you know, wasn't able to find anybody downfield.
3rd and long. Hounds empty the backfield. 5 wide receivers, 4 split out to the left. Quarterback keeper to the left. Combs picks up a block, lowers his shoulder. Might have got ahead to about the 22-yard line. Brings up 4th down. Now it's decision time. You're still inside Jacob Baker's field goal range. He has hit from here, and Christ School going to take a timeout to think about it. We'll take one as well. 5:09 remaining in the first half of play. Hounds trail 10-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
Half a play in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, 35th Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic tonight. The Hounds playing host to the Christ School Greenies, the defending state champs out of North Carolina Division II private sector. Right now we've got the ball 4th and 3 on the Christ School 23-yard line. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Hounds electing to go for it, JB, right here. Big decision. Combs in the shotgun, twin wideouts each side. He resets Mills out to the left, and he's got a defender in the neutral zone. That's 5 free ones. Automatic first down for the Red Hounds.
Wow, great job again. You know, we saw the Hounds get the free 5 towards the goal line, and then right there, you know, causing the Greenies, being an aggressive, fast-paced team, able to, you know, get the free 5 yards and the offsides penalty. So really good call right there, Coach Elam, kind of running the freeze, if you will, to draw the Greenies offsides. First down, Hounds right here.
Single high coverage here, Patterson and Cancel. Patterson's won this matchup so far. 1st and 10 at the Greenie 18. Handoff going to Mills up the gut, bending it back against the grain. Cut down at the Christ School 14-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the first down carry. You know, I said Seth Mills may not be the bell cow this season, and I lied.
Yeah, exactly. He's hammering it up in there left, hammering it up in there right, off the edge, you know, inside, outside, every way you can, and doing a really good job right there. And just, you know, Hounds down 14-10 right here, looking at the clock, 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go. You know, you want to put points on the board, but you don't want to hopefully leave the Greenies a lot of time right here before the half.
No, Corbin will get the football to start the second half as well, so huge opportunity here. Combs remains in the shotgun, looking deep, got a man wide open. The lead.
Wow, great job right there. Cam Combs gets great protection up front, sets his feet, and then Hunter Newberry kind of runs the post pattern towards the end zone, and all alone in the end zone by himself. And I tell you, touchdown Hounds, put 6 on the board. Great job responding early, you know, had a little adversity early, and now Hounds just coming unglued right here to take the lead with 4:26 left in this second quarter.
16 unanswered from the Hounds. Baker on to make it 17. Combs to hold. Snap is high, but it's handled. Kick is up and away. It's clearly good from here. It's good over there. 4:26 remaining in the first half. Hounds take the lead. 17-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy Hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Unbelievable.
4:26 remaining in the first half of play. Red Hounds have captured the lead on the back of a 17-0 run. They're on top 17-14 over the Christ School Greenies here in the 35th annual Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Corbin on to kick the ball away. Jacob Baker to put the toe to it. Ball's teed up. He kicks it off high, end over end kick, going to be fielded right. Not going to be fielded. It sails out of the back of the end zone. 4 kickoffs, 4 touchbacks for Mr. Baker. Christ School take over on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, really good job again. 4 for 4 on the touchbacks. And a lot of teams, they feed off of that big kickoff return. And, when you can get that touchback every single time, you just kind of start from scratch right there. So really good job again, Jacob Baker, just being all he can be right there, putting a touchback again on the board. 4 for 4 for the Hounds on touchbacks. So good job right there. One thing I was going to mention, Ronnie, you touched on it early, the players, the Hounds dress 80, Christ School looks like around 30, 40, so the sheer numbers may be coming into play right here, against the Christ School Greenies.
Christ School takes over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Trips formation, one running back flanked to his left. High snap, but he corrals it, sets in the pocket. It's clean, 3-man rush, fires down the sideline, caught but out of bounds. That's going to be incomplete. He called that a catch.
Wow, he's marking it up right there. Wow.
He called that a catch.
Wow.
Listen, I'm not one to doubt refs. That call's atrocious.
Wow, tough break right there for the Hounds, I tell you.
Wow.
Just
that's a nightmare.
Wow. Cornerback being smart, playing D, but just
that's embarrassing.
Really tough break right there for the Hounds defense.
Goodness gracious. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 at the Christ School 48-yard line on the chunk play. Simpkins in the gun. Snap is over his head. Ball's on the ground.
There
He's going to
go.
be sandwiched in the backfield. All the way back to his own 32-yard line. Loss of 16 on the play.
Wow, number 42, Carter Sevier on the hit. Mikey Neal in there on the hit. I think I saw Brandon Baker as well. So, they've had a lot of trouble, the Greenies from Christ School, with that snap. I think that's 3 or 4 that they mishandled. And you talked about earlier in the broadcast, Ronnie, getting a little bit humid, getting a little bit kind of a slick track out there. And we've seen them have 3 or 4 missed snaps, and it's really put the Christ School of the Greenies behind the 8 ball right here, 2nd and long. Right here, ball spotted right around the 33-yard line.
Again, you can't help but speculate that, of course, it's rained almost every day for the last 7 to 10 days. This field has certainly taken saturation, and as the dew condenses on the field, this playing surface is getting slick. It's evident they've got snap issues right now.
Exactly, and we talked about it off air there a minute ago. Maybe one of the reasons, the Hounds didn't even elect to kick the field goal, but got the first down anyways and worked out with a touchdown. But, just a slick track out there right now, and Christ School really having trouble.
Timeout on the field. Christ School had the play clock clicking down to 0, so they're elected to take their 3rd and final timeout of the half. We're going to keep it right here for the timeout, for a commercial break. We will thank you for our official corporate sponsors bringing you Red Hound football tonight. It's going to be Appalachian Wireless, Pepsi-Cola Bottling of Corbin, Mikasa, Hometown Bank, Owens Auto Repair, Tri-County Cycle, Kentucky Outdoorsman, Sonic Drive-In of Corbin, Wildcat RV and Marine, Sammy's Furniture, Pennington Wellness, and Jace's Family Practice, bringing you tonight's broadcast and Red Hound football all season long. You can also check out this broadcast on your apps, your streaming devices, your SmartCast, whatever you have, on www.t1073.com. Again, www.t1073.com. $5 to stream tonight. Click on Red Hound Sports at the top of the top of the screen. Put your payment information in and enjoy this audio broadcast plus HD quality stream tonight and all season long. www.t1073.com. 2nd and 25 for the Kreiskull on another bad snap. Backed up on their own 33-yard line. Simpsons operates out of the shotgun. Another high one. He hauls it in. Going to be a middle screen. Almost intercepted. Braden Reynolds gets a pass deflection from his defensive tackle spot.
Wow, Braden Reynolds right there reading the screen perfectly. We've seen the Greenies try that 2 or 3 times with success, but right there, Braden Reynolds using his athletic ability up in the middle of the defense, gets outside and bats down the pass. So great job by Braden Reynolds and that Hounds defense.
Another 3rd down. Well, the snap synergy or lack thereof has put the Kreiskull in some bad 3rd down situations. This team does like to throw the football, but there's not a lot of plays in the old playbook for 25 yards.
No, there's not. And it could be, right here, like we said earlier, too, it's their first game of the year. So, really, I'm sure a little jitters traveling all this way as well. So, really having trouble with that snap.
Now showing a 4-man rush. Kreiskull empties the backfield. Flags flying. It's going to be a delay of game going against the Greenies. There's zeros on the play clock. Delay a game. Boy, the penalties have piled up against this squad.
Yes, they have, and we talked about that as well. You want to not have a lot of penalties. Well, the Hounds have done a good job that way, and the Greenies have mishandled some footballs and penalties. So, like you said, Ronnie, just kind of starting to add up right here against the Greenies from North Carolina.
Simpkins in the gun, 5 wide. Joe Brown's bearing down on him, got the pass out. Wow. He's going to be tattooed in the flats. Looks like that's Evan Poore. Remember from a year ago, decleated a guy in the very same spot.
Well, exactly. Evan Poore coming up and just kind of licking his chops to really lower the boom on the receiver for Kreiskull, doing a good job. So, again, 4th down right here. And I get to say it this time, Ronnie, 4th down in the cab ride, and Kreiskull got to punt it away.
3rd consecutive failure to convert for the Kreiskull. Punting formation on. Mills standing on his own 40-yard line. Snap is hauled in. Kick is up and away. It's shanked. Rocketing towards the Corbin sideline. Takes a Red Hound roll out of bounds at the 37-yard line of the Kreiskull. So 2:27 remaining in the first half. Corbin gets the football at the Kreiskull 37-yard line. They're up 17-14. I believe they have all 3 timeouts and get the football back to start the second half. This is a huge opportunity for Corbin to put a deficit in this scoreboard.
Yeah, great job. Again, we talk about momentum swings in a football game, and the Greenies from Kreiskull come out, go up 14-0, and then like you said a minute ago, the Hounds have responded, scoring 17 straight points, and now already heading towards the end zone right before this half to see if they can tack on to that lead.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Combs operating out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Handoff goes up the middle to Mills. He cuts it out to the left sideline. He's got some running room inside the 30. Finally brought down to around the 27-yard line. He's very close to first down yardage, gain of about 9 or 10 on the carry.
Yeah, good run again off that left side by Seth Mills. And, Seth Mills, a really good-sized player, but he doesn't look like he's got, I guess, for lack of a better word, a lot of lead in his pockets. He's not a big bruising type back, but somehow he wiggles in through there, just hard to tackle, and does a great job really kind of dashing in and out of there for a really good run right there.
2nd and 1. Combs going to keep it himself on the quarterback draw.
There we go.
Running room. Barrels down inside the 20. Finally brought down at the Greenie 15-yard line. And here's something we talked about in the commercial break, but the reason I think the Hounds have ran the ball so much is fatigue starting to set in.
Definitely, I think exactly right, Ronnie. The fatigue. You talk about the travel. You talk about, first game, and Hounds really taking it to the Greenies right here.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Hard count, nobody in the neutral zone. Combs looks to the sideline for the audible, makes an adjustment. It's got twin wide receivers split out to each side. Gregory in the backfield. Gregory gets the call. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage for a loss. So first big productive play defensively for the Christ School. No gain on the carry.
Yeah, looked like number 51 for Christ School, Jacob Halfacre on the tackle up the middle. But, seeing number 32, Ethan Gregory, get up in there, make a couple moves, and he's had some productive runs, but right there running into the big man up the middle. So, Hounds reset right here, second and about 11. Got a minute 30 on the clock before this half, and see if the Hounds can put some more points on the board.
Second and 11. Tripp split out to the right. Mills is checked back in at the running back position. He's got Curry, Stewart, and Patterson all out to the right. Takes the snap, going to give again to Mills, spins out of a tackle in the backfield, now careening towards the away sideline. Flag down on the play. Patterson throws a huge block.
Wow.
Mills is in there for the touchdown, but there is a flag down behind the play. Probably going to be a blocking infraction of some kind.
Yeah, it looks like it. Again, Seth Mills, making people miss all over the place and actually getting to the corner of the end zone and scoring. But I think you're right. Yeah, coming back right here on the holding call.
Dakota Patterson peeled back and leveled a cornerback out there on the edge.
Well, that's one thing, I know, offensively, defensively, and even on special teams coverages, you want to be physical, y'all. And I know Coach Greer has talked about that. I saw him in a few interviews even on TV. He talked about how he wants to be physical up front, offensive line, defensive line, and really, he talked about how, they're going to win with the guys up front. And so far, starting to assert their will against the Greenies from Christ School.
Second and 22 because of the holding call. Combs having to roll out under pressure. Fires. Ball is popped up, almost intercepted. Patterson having to play defensive back there and bats it down to the turf. Incomplete. Brings up third and 22.
Yeah, tough play right there. A lot of quick pressure by the Greenies from the Christ School and just making a quick decision. Cam Combs rolling out to the left and getting rid of the football. And you're right, Ronnie. Lucky that, the Hounds still have the football right here.
Third and very long. Ball at the 27-yard line. If no other yardage, would make a 45-yard field goal attempt. Clock is less than a minute. Christ School has no timeouts remaining. They cannot stop the clock here. Corbin does have the opportunity to bleed this down next to nothing, regardless of how this possession goes. Trips to the right. Combs sets up, fouls the tunnel screen out to Patterson. Hauled in and caught at the 25, at the 20, at the 15. Lunges ahead. Inside the 8 or 9 yard line, still going to have about 8 or 9 yards to go to convert the first down. Now, this is a good opportunity, Corbin, to kick the field goal, but of course bleed that clock down and kick it with, no time left on the clock. Holding.
Wow.
Actually flagged behind the play.
Didn't see that coming at all. Didn't see the flag at all. Must have been come in late But, yeah, you're right. I thought the Hounds would run the clock down, kick the field goal going into half, but, again, going to reset right here.
Now makes that third and very long. Ball resting at the Christ School 34-yard line, just on the edge of Baker's range that we've seen on the field. And Corbin leads 17-14, 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Corbin will get the football back to start the second half here. Combs in the gun. Takes the snap. Sets the throw. He's got a pocket. Fires over the middle. Nobody home. Incomplete. Clock will stop at 29 seconds. Now it's fourth down. About 29 to go. Ball at the 34-yard line. Kind of decision time for Corbin.
Yeah, field goal be 50-plus right
here? Be a 51-yarder from here.
Yeah, 50-plus. Not sure if Coach Greer will pull the trigger on this field goal or not. I don't see Jacob Baker right now coming into the football game, but doesn't mean he's not going to. Look like they're kind of decision time, kind of thinking about it, like you said.
Now, all 3 timeouts available. Even drawing a false start, as foolish as that would be,
exactly,
would cut into that field goal range.
Yes.
Coach Greer definitely going to milk the time down to think about this. 5, 4, 3, 2. Corbin going to take their first timeout of the first half. 29 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll cut away very quickly. Hounds on top 17-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness has a friendly staff and relaxing spa-like atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. We do.
The deal, wasn't it? Yep.
29 seconds remaining in the first half of play in the 35th annual Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. Hounds are on top 17-14. It's fourth down and long to go. Ball resting at the 34-yard line. Jacob Baker on to try. It's going to be a 51-yarder. Would be a school record from here. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth.
Wow. Yeah, it's just going to be awesome to see if he can do it. I think he's got the leg, that's for sure.
He's definitely got the range. The surface is slick right now. It is affecting kicking conditions. Snap is down. Kick is up and away. It's got the height. Looks like it's got the distance. Is it in there?
Yes.
It's good. Jacob Baker is your school record holder for longest field goal in school history.
51 yards.
Wow.
And some change right there. If the Hounds needed it a little longer, I mean, my goodness. We can't say enough tonight about Jacob Baker. 4 touchbacks in a row, punts, and right there a 51-yard field goal. Unbelievable. And
that was good from 60.
Yes, had a lot of change left after he went through the uprights. So, man, I'll tell you, really glad Coach Greer gave him the opportunity, put his trust in Jacob Baker, and he didn't disappoint. So, hats off to Jacob Baker and the kicking team for the Hounds right there.
Huge score to close out the second half. We're going to keep it right here, but Baker, that's two long field goals and 4 touchbacks on kickoffs.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I think we're verifying right now. I think that 51-yarder is the school record.
I think so. I mean, you don't see a 51-yard field goal every day in high school football, and I tell you what, just a unbelievable job. And then the cool thing now, Ron, we get to see if he's going to get another touchback right here. So go 5 for 5 on touchbacks. So Jacob Baker just really having a great night so far for the Hounds on special teams.
Unbelievable. That was 51 yards. It was good from 60, if not longer.
No doubt.
Baker on to kick it away. Puts the toe to it, high, end over end kick. It's headed for the end zone where it dies. 5th touchback of the night.
Wow.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's just unreal. And we talked about how great he did of a job last year, and now he's even gotten better. I mean, just gotten better. So, wow, hats off to Jacob Baker on working hard. Just shows you what good hard work will do. And I tell you what, just a really good special play and a special player tonight for the Hounds so far. Well, looks like right here, 23 seconds to go in the half. Hounds up 20-14. And, bringing in the safeties, kind of bringing in the prevent defense right here. Looks like Hounds are going to rush 3. Braden Reynolds, Joe Brown up front, and looks like Carter Sevier as well. So, and then playing 8 in coverage. So you got almost a quarters coverage. They call that, quarters of the field, 4 safeties back deep, and are going to play the prevent.
Simpkins rest in the pocket. Light rush. Hit over the middle. Ball is knocked out. Big collision across the middle. Brandon Baker crushes him. Incomplete.
Wow, just kind of setting up there, and the ball's delivered by Simpkins. Does a good job delivering the ball, but then Brandon Baker, number 23 for the Hounds, lights the receiver up and just knocks the ball free. So good job by the Hounds defense. And again, you've got those 4 guys back deep for the Hounds. Looks like Evan Poor's back there. Jacob Baker's back there. Number 10, Seth Mills, and Travion. All 4 backed out of there right about the midfield mark.
Simpkins remains in the shotgun on second down. Just going to elect to run the ball here. Of course, got some running room. Hounds in a nickel set. Rushes him out of bounds. Up to his own about 42-yard line. 10 seconds remaining. No timeouts for the Greenies.
Really good job right there, Mikey Neal, tracking down the running back, number 20, Bryce Sane, for the Greenies. And I tell you, Sane has done a pretty good job to shake loose on the offensive side for the Greenies. But I tell you what, the Hounds on the other side of the football have done a pretty good job against the rushing game. So, Hounds, Greenies looking to throw one up right here. 10 seconds to go left before halftime.
10 seconds remain. Simpkins in the gun, 4 wide receivers, 2 each way. Going to elect to hand it off here. Not a lot of running room there. Ball's on the ground, and it's recovered by the 5 seconds remaining, and Hounds are taking over in Greeny territory at their 34-yard line, where something pretty incredible just happened.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. We saw that earlier, and, 4 seconds to go. Still got some timeouts there, and you never know. The Hounds could hit a quick one, get a timeout, and give Mr. Jacob Baker another opportunity right here, and would be a huge score. Like you mentioned earlier, Hounds up 20-14. If you could tack on another 3 points, Hounds get the ball at halftime, and could be another huge turning point in this football game right here.
Hounds might just elect to take the knee here. Also a safe decision. What you don't want is a pick 6 or a turnover, surrender this lead right before the half. 20-14, 4 seconds remaining after the turnover. Trip formation. Longmire checks in at the top of the field. Sets the throw. Got a clean pocket. Now it collapses. He's going to be sacked for a loss to close out the half. But at the end of the first half, it's Corbin 20, Kreiskull 14. Taking you into the halftime break. We'll be back in 3 minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know, it's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Halftime at the Cumberland Falls Invitational Pigskin Classic. Invitational is basketball. Still an invitational.
That's
you got to
right.
get an invite to get in.
That's right.
Nonetheless, Corbin on top 20-14 over the North Carolina defending state champ Christ School Greenies. Hounds have reeled off 20 unanswered points to take this lead, and what a first half of football to start this season.
Yeah, exactly. A great first half. The Greenies came out, like we said earlier, get up 14-0, and, you're kind of like, oh, wow, what's going to happen here, getting a little nervous, and the Hounds settled right in and just kind of took over from there. And like you said, scored 20 unanswered points. Jacob Baker coming in there. We've talked about him off air all night long. 5 touchbacks, the 51-yard school record field goal, and then, the Hounds defensive front doing a good job. Defensive backs kind of locking in as well and shutting down that passing game for the Greenies. So Hounds have totally turned this football game around, and I tell you what, got a lot of momentum coming into the second half.
Corbin High School dance team on the field providing the halftime entertainment, but we've been nothing shy of entertainment in this football game. Of course, this looked like it might have been a long night at the office to start out with.
Yes.
They open up with a flea flicker.
Yes.
Hit a bomb, and then they hit the middle screen to walk it in for a touchdown, score in like 2 minutes.
Yes.
And then Corbin coughs up the football. They give up another touchdown, and then it's been nothing but the Red Hounds ever since. It has been an explosive first half. Of course, we've got 20 minutes for halftime. We'll get into more into that into detail. But, wow, what a way to start the season at full capacity again, huh?
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if you didn't mention, too, I mean, you look across the way, the new light show, so to speak. You mentioned the dance team as well. The crowd is unbelievable, packed house tonight here at Campbell Field. And, the varsity club just doing an awesome job tonight to get these teams in here. And first game was a packed house as well. And so just a great spectacle, great job by the varsity club to kind of kick this Hound season off in this 2021 year.
15 minutes until we tee it back up. We need this long to catch our breath.
That's right.
What a half of football. Of course, we have our dearly departed, he's not dead or anything, but Coach Roark he moved on to principalship. Good for him. Congratulations. But we missed him in the halftime show.
I know it.
Newly crowned athletic director. We're going to have to get him up here next week. I think we forgot to invite him, to be fair.
Probably
but Tackett Wilson, the AD here at Corbin High School, good friend of mine. But we'll come back. We'll break down the halftime stats, some revised keys to victory. Don't have to make too many changes. They've played out pretty well so far. And we'll break down the half and much, much more. 15 minutes remaining at halftime. We're going to step away for some corporate sponsor advertisement time. Again, it's Corbin 20, Christ School Greenies 14 at the half. We'll be back in 5 minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means 2 things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on U.S. Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
Good summertime treat.
I'd want this Red Bull Summer Edition slush the middle of the day when I'm like really just wanting to clock out, but the clock's still going.
Yeah, it can help fight that 3 o'clock feeling. Sonic Red Bull Summer Edition slush.
It'd cool me off and then light me back up.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness offers a family-friendly atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. We do!
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know, it's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, you know, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Championship a year ago down there in North Carolina during the shortened season, and they do not disappoint on talent, but boy, Corbin has been clicking on all cylinders since about halfway in that first quarter.
Yeah, just really kind of almost, you know, we talked about it, the fatigue factor, and the Hounds have really kind of wore down the Greenies in North Carolina there. And, you know, I don't talk about the travel, you know, they have to travel here and, stay and all that kind of throws you off. First game of the season for both teams. So the Hounds have just done a great job, down 14-0 early in that first quarter, and kind of flipped the switch and responded and just played lights out ever since. And like you mentioned earlier, scoring 20 straight points. So to take this lead 20-14. So Hounds really with the momentum in their favor. Come out, get the football on offense right here, and look for the Hounds to attack and try to put another touchdown on the board right here really, really fast.
Looking at some halftime stats right now. Your statistical carry leader, Combs, has been toting the rock himself. He's got 54 yards on the ground, been doing really well in that department. Mills has 7 for 16, also has a touchdown on the ground. Ethan Gregory has 4 for 12 in the passing department. It's been the story of newcomers. Carter Stewart hauled one in from 19 yards in his first catch of his varsity career. Dakota Patterson's hauled in 2 for 21 yards. He's been playing the decoy again tonight, heavy coverage. He's been battling with a Division I committed corner and winning that battle so far. And then finally, Hunter Newberry hauls in his first catch on varsity football and goes for a touchdown, 14 yards out for the strike. The story of the half so far, if you're just tuning in, you might not believe me. The story of the half so far is special teams.
That's right.
And kicking. Jacob Baker, 3 field goals, 3 for 3 on attempts, broke the school record from 51 yards. That kick was good from 60, folks. And 5 touchbacks on kickoffs executed so far. So heck of a half from him. We get a vote for MVP up here in the broadcast booth.
That's
and unless
right.
something changes, and we hope it doesn't, hope it stays the same, Baker's getting the MVP.
Exactly,
from this booth.
and more than likely, we'd probably have to get the info. I'm sure, though, that probably never been a kicker. I'm almost guarantee you that would get the MVP.
I'm positive.
Yes,
of that
exactly. And I mean, exactly. And so just a great job by Jacob Baker, in all the facets of the game. You mentioned, extra points, touchbacks, and of course the big field goal. So just doing a great job tonight on all around kicking the football. And we touched on it. Going to the Ray Guy camps and. He keeps going, keeps progressing. I don't know how you could progress much more.
Invited to Alabama's camp.
Exactly, but I'm sure you can. And, I mean, just, you get a kicker like that, he can just punch his ticket anywhere he wants to go.
I don't know where I'd go.
Yeah.
Stanford maybe, so I could at least have that degree. But, I mean, NFL – he's got serious range.
He does.
Kid's a junior, hits from 51, good from 60.
Wow.
And it's one thing to have the leg to hit from 51. There's lots of people have that.
Right.
Well, not lots, but plenty. But to have the discipline and the mental stability, because, the classic tail kickers are head cases.
Right.
Like,
right.
It takes a lot of nerves and gusto to hit that kick from 51 and keep it in those uprights.
It
does. A tremendous kick.
Yeah.
So definitely the best weapon on the roster, I think, for – a lot of teams don't have that.
Yes.
And there's 4-star players on this roster, and Jacob Baker outshining everybody tonight.
That's right.
Not going to say I called it, but we did discuss it in the pregame broadcast.
Yeah, just, exactly. Jacob Baker just doing everything that's been asked of him and more. I mean, you just couldn't ask any more of it. And just fun to watch, fun to see him set that record, and just really, really proud of the football player that he's become, and just doing a great job.
Constable Andy Moses joining us in the broadcast booth with water. Shout out to him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. It is hot up here.
It is.
Is this all for us? No, this is plenty. No, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to hydrate here in the press box at half until we give you second half football action. Looking for fireworks here at Campbell Field. The score is 20-14. Corbin on top. 5:30 till we kick it back off here in the second half. This is Red Hound football on T107.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means two things: hunting season and it's football time in the bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on US Highway 25 between Corbin and London next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order? One crave cheeseburger.
I'm on it.
Crave cheeseburger, almost ready. On my way.
Someone pass me the crepe sauce.
Almost ready on the burger.
One Sonic crepe cheeseburger.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
One banana pudding shake.
Cutting the bananas right now.
Someone got those vanilla wafers?
Almost ready. One banana pudding shake. Order up.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy Hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster. Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness offers a family-friendly atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. We do!
Hounds on top, action-packed first half. They lead 20-14 over the North Carolina-born Christ School Greenies. They're a private school, Division II sector. I think that's the small school private sector.
I think so.
In North Carolina, but they're the defending state champs down there. No
That's
slouches.
right.
Got a couple Division I commitments on the roster. Got a 3-star quarterback, highly sought after. Got a cornerback committed to Ole Miss University. So this is a team that definitely brings its fair share of fireworks in, but the Hounds taking the better of them here in the first half. They're on top 20-14. Definitely both teams have a lot to clean up, though. Could be a very different second half. Just depending on how the teams approach it.
Yeah, just going to be a matter of adjustments. I'm sure Coach Greer and the staff for the Hounds have made some adjustments. You do want to keep, spreading the ball around, running the football. Looks like, the momentum's kind of swung in the Hounds' favor. Almost like we've talked about, the fatigue factor setting in. But then if you're the Greenies, first thing you got to do is make sure you nail down that snap from the shotgun.
Man,
I'm telling you.
it's been costly.
Yes, they put themselves behind the chains 3 or 4 different times. And, it's hard, like you said, not a lot of plays in the playbook for 2nd and 25, when you miss a snap like that. So look for the Greenies to come out and I think just be more aggressive in the passing game. They've tried to run it up in there. The Greenies have tried to run it against the teeth of the Hounds defense and not had much luck on the ground. So I look for the Greenies to come out in this second half and really try to rev up the engine, rev up the offense, and pass the ball down the field. So Hounds need to be ready defensively to stop that pass.
15 seconds, allegedly, until we kick it back off. Typically, they'll add 3 more minutes on the clock as the teams are on the field warming it up. Just a little first half recap on how the action happened. It was an opening. Actually, they opened up with a flea flicker play, a little bit of trickeration, as they say. Hit on the long bomb, and then next play hit on the halfback middle screen, took it in from 26 yards out, kind of dampened the crowd, the spirits, so to speak. And then Corbin coughs it up on a turnover immediately on the next possession. Christ School scores again deep in Red Hound territory. They lead 14-0 right out of the gate.
Yeah, almost shell-shocked. Hounds almost shell-shocked right there. And then, of course, Hounds settle in.
Big kickoff return from Seth Mills was the shot in the arm the Hounds needed. Punched it in from 1 yard out on the ground and then never looked back. 3 field goals actually from Baker later. And now this team is in excellent position to keep plowing ahead, keep winning. They're up 20-14 right now and 2 minutes and change left. What does this team need to do to close this out?
Well, I think the Hounds, you just want to keep building on what you were doing in that first half, especially in the second quarter. Just keep running the football. Seth Mills running the football. Ethan Gregory running the football. And, of course, Cam Combs leading the way, 11 carries for 54 yards. So, Coach Bart Elam not afraid to send his quarterback up in there doing a good job as well. So, keep pounding the rock, wearing down the Greenies a little bit more, and, just finish them off and should be able to pull the win out tonight.
There you have it. We've got about a minute and a half till we kick this one back off. We're going to cut away for our final commercial break of the half. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Corbin leads 20-14 at the half. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today, it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a couple restaurants down there we always like to go to.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Halftime here at the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. Hounds always a tough out here at the Pigskin. They're on top of the defending state champ Christ School Greenies out of North Carolina, 20-14. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And JB, cannot imagine a more action-packed first half than what we had. We had a school record broke. Jacob Baker hits one from 51 yards out. They just announced it over the loudspeaker across the field there. Three kicks on 3 tries.
That's right.
5 touchbacks. Red Hound offensive line really imposing their will from about the midpoint of the first quarter onward against a very, very good football team. This could very well be the best team on Corbin's schedule.
It could be, exactly, and you always wonder, like we said, you know, when two teams coming in don't know a whole lot about each other, what's going to happen. And I love, we talked about that earlier, those, you know, even that 1-yard run, that 2-yard run, and just kind of pounding away. Almost being the kind of, you like to say, the hammer, not the nail. And I tell you what, the Hounds just kind of wore down the Greenies and getting ready to kick this second half off right now.
Hamill on to kick it away. Patterson and Longmire back. It's a short kick. End over end, going to hit the ground. Fielded around the 20-yard line. Going to be dropped up around the 30. Didn't catch the Hound that fielded that in. Looks like it's Ethan Gregory, the up back. Hauls it in. Hounds will take over 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line over on the left hash.
Yeah, I think so. Ethan Gregory catching that football and heading north and south. But again, you know, you come out right there, the Greenies rested up a little bit at halftime, and you see their athleticism right there, getting down the field and covering in a hurry. But the Hounds in pretty good shape right here, right around the 29-yard line to start this drive.
Hounds lead 20-14 to start the second half. Have been the recipient of a few mistakes out of the Christ School. Combs in the shotgun, trips formation. Takes the snap, quarterback keeper into the trips on the left side, his home sideline, rushed out of bounds. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage, not a big gain there on the run.
Yeah, it looked like just a couple right there, just taking that direct snap out of the shotgun and running off the left tackle, the left side of Big Franklin West, number 74, the left tackle for the Hounds. And usually, you know, Franklin West going to move a lot of people, but right there kind of, you know, Cam Combs getting tangled up a little bit and just picking up about a yard right there on the carry.
Longmire checking in the game at wide receiver. Didn't see a lot out of him, you know, even in the game offensively in the first half. He's split out to the home side. 4 wide receivers on the field. Combs takes the snap, sets the throw, steps up in the pocket. Got Longmire over the middle. Could not reach him, just barely overthrown there. Longmire couldn't haul it in. He was walking into the end zone. Incomplete, brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you saw the speed right there, Travion. You see why, you know, he's going to play next year for the Big Blue, the UK Wildcats. And I see Travion lining up out there, split out to the left side and just, you know, running right down the seam. And Cam Combs just a little bit off the mark. And like you said it, Ronnie, Travion sitting in the end zone right now.
3rd and long. Combs in the gun. Hard count. No jump from the defensive line. Calls an adjustment. He's got twin wideouts, split out to each side. Got a running back flanking him to his right. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, now rolls to the right, fires the check down to Patterson in the flat. Shakes him in at the 30, at the 35. Hit at the 40, ball pops out. Rolls out of bounds, but actually recovered, looks like before it does, and Corbin coughs up the football.
Tough break right there for Dakota Patterson. Made a couple people miss, made a good catch in space, and got down the field in a hurry. But, you know, take a big shot over on the sideline, not able to hold on to the football. And right there, you know, the Hounds moving, starting to pick up some yardage, moving the football a little bit. But the Greenies capitalized right there on the turnover.
Looked like the ball was going to go out of bounds. That was a heads-up play. Quentin Cancel. And he's another 3-star athlete committed to the University of Ole Miss.
Big-time athlete. Yeah, really good play, you're right, to keep the ball from going out of bounds and get the turnover for the Greenies.
Playing surface is slick. It's been raining here for about a week off and on. Dew descending on the field. ball security could become an issue. Shotgun formation for the Greenies. Floats one over the middle. Incomplete. Pass interference. Going to be a call, and that is the correct call. He was face guarding. He was hit him. He was all over him. He smashed him back there.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, if you're the Hounds defender right there, it might have been, I think, either number 15, Evan Poore, or number 4, looked like Brody Wells. Couldn't tell exactly who was in the coverage. But, you know, if you think you're beaten, going to give up a touchdown, better to go ahead and get the penalty and, you know, let it play from there. So, you know, probably a heads-up play right there by the defender for the Hounds.
Could have the ball hung in the air a little bit. That ball could have been intercepted.
Exactly.
But I'm not one to critique the defensive backs. Never been back there, never will.
That's right. Me neither. Exactly.
15-yard penalty is going to put the ball at the Red Hound 32-yard line for the Cry School. Twin wideouts split out to the right. Tight end checked in at the left wing. Simpkins in the gun. Sets the throw. 4-man rush. Throws to the sideline. It's tall and incomplete. Trying to find his wide receiver on there on the quick out. He's just not there.
Yeah, not there. And first ball, really, Simpkins kind of overthrew right there. He's been on the mark all night long. So
I think this ball's very slick.
It's got to be what's happening out there. You know, we even look in the end zone, and you can see kind of the dew or the rain, if you will, kind of where it's just, like you said, rained all week. And so that ball's got to be slick out there. And we saw it with the fumble by the Hounds and then by the throw right there by Simpkins.
2nd and 10 at the Red Hound 32. Handoff going across the left side. He's up to the 30. He gets tattooed and driven backwards at the 30-yard line. Might have picked up a yard or two, not much more. Evan Poore bringing the boom.
Yeah, Evan Poore right there again coming up and lowering the hammer right there on running back number 20, Bryce Sane. And, you know, it's good to have a guy out there like that can, you know, you run the football, you're going to pay the price for it. And Evan Poore does a great job of just coming up and, like you said, Ronnie, lowering the boom on the running back. And we've seen that a lot last year and already in this football game as well tonight.
3rd and long for the Greenies. They've been stuck there a lot tonight. Simpkins operating out of the shotgun, twins to the left, a wing and one lone wide out to the right. Takes the snap, 4-man rush. Got some time, tucks it and runs it across the 30 to the 25. Hurdles the defender, comes down on his head, but very close to first down yardage. Had to look for the spot there. Referee indicates it's going to bring up 4th down and about a yard.
Yeah, it looks about 4th and a yard, and really good decision right there by Simpkins. You know, a veteran at quarterback for the Greenies, and the Hounds DBs did a great job in coverage. Not much there, so tucks it up and runs, and then again gets the big hit and brings up this 4th down and 1 right here for the Hounds defense.
Running back checking into the game on 4th down. He gets the call straight ahead. He gets hit. It's going to be very close. Going to depend on the spot here. Red Hound defense indicates they held. We'll wait on the indication. First down, the defense holds.
Wow. And I believe it was Mikey Neal in there, lowering the boom again on the running back. And, you know, we talked about that in the pregame. We talked about it in the at halftime. You know, the Hounds defensive front has been doing a great job stopping the run of the Greenies tonight and just forced them to throw the football time after time. And right there we see it come up big, 4th and about a yard, and Mikey Neal comes downhill in a hurry and lays the big hit and forces the turnover on downs for the Hounds.
Perone Cooper checked into the game, just for reference, 6'2", 200 pounds. Running back checked into the game, and he got leveled by Mikey.
Did.
Met at the line of scrimmage. That's what you want out of your Mike linebacker.
Yes, you want him coming downhill, laying the wood to you, and that's exactly what Mikey Neal did. And you know, I noticed him out there. He looks a little bit bigger. He looks like he's hit the weight room.
Yes,
and,
very much.
Yes, and when he comes downhill, he's going to bring a load.
Looks like his dad.
Yes, and yes, he does. And we saw it right there. Just a great hit and a great tackle right there by Mikey Neal.
Hounds are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 24-yard line after the defensive stand. They lead 20-14. Both teams have had a stab at holding the football. 5 wide receivers. He's got 4 wide out to his left. He's ran it to this side before. Now he keeps it to the weak side. Got some running room at the 40. Got a lot of running room at the 50. Going to get behind the blocker at the 30. cuts against the grain at the 20, at the 10. He's going to walk it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow, what a play right there. Cam Combs runs it right up the middle, hits that right sideline. And then what I loved right there, Ronnie, 2 receivers working hard downfield, staying on their blocks all the way down the field, and Cam Combs makes a great cutback inside and puts 6 points on the board for the Hounds offense.
Quite an offensive performance from Cameron Combs running the football. We talked about his arm strength and beefing up, but he has clearly got an extra gear added in this offseason.
Yeah, exactly. Almost looks like the Hounds have an extra running back there. You got Cam Combs. I mean, just hits it up in there and makes a beautiful cut. Beautiful blocking again, like I said, downfield. And Hounds going to go for 2 right here. I think you're signaling, Ronnie.
Yes, they're up 26-14 right now. Makes sense just to go for 2 here. Play clock is dwindling down inside 10 seconds. Converting this would make this an even, and Hounds going to burn a timeout here. 9:32 in the third quarter. We'll take a break as well. Hounds on top 26-14, 2-point conversion when we come back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 penny with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Able to run throw the ball.
Yep. Yes.
9:32 remaining in the third quarter. Hounds lead 26-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. Cameron Combs toting the rock from way deep, his own 24-yard line on the quarterback draw, takes it to the house for 6. Hounds will go for 2 here to try to make this an even 2-touchdown score. Combs in the gun, brings Longmire in motion. Fakes the handoff, now throws to the flat. Got him in the flat, hauled in and caught. That's complete for the 2-point conversion. Zane Hammock from his tight end spot hauling it in for 2.
Really good play right there, using Travion coming across again in that jet motion. And then, Zane Hammock, like you said, number 37, kind of sneaking out into the flat. And Cam Combs delivers a strike and puts the 2 points on the board. So really good job right there by the Hounds offense to score another touchdown and extend this lead.
With 9:32 remaining in the third quarter, that 2-point conversion will make it an even 2-touchdown lead for the Hounds. That's 28 unanswered from Corbin.
Wow, yeah, 28 unanswered points. You're down 14-0, and how we wonder how the Hounds are going to respond. And what do? They score 28 straight points, and the Greenies kind of look like they're kind of reeling a little bit here. The fatigue factor's starting to really settle in again. And if you're a Greenie fan out there, they're going to have to figure out something in a hurry because the Hounds are really cranking it up right now.
Baker on to kick it away. He's had 5 kickoffs tonight. They've all met the end zone for touchbacks. Here comes number 6. His squad's on top 28-14 with 9:32 remaining in the third. Baker approaches, puts the toe to it. It's another high end-over-end kick. That one might go through the uprights. Holy cow, it's another touchback.
Yeah, not even close. I mean, not even close. And it's almost like, the kickoff receive team for the Greenies is erased right there because, the touchback's coming. They know it. We know it. The fans know it. And, of course, Jacob Baker certainly knows it. So, great job kicking by Jacob Baker.
A junior, by the way.
That's right. That's right.
It's unreal.
Wow, get to enjoy that again next year. So, and already just a great season in this and great job in this first game of the season.
Kreiskel taking over, needing a response from them badly. They've surrendered 28 unanswered to the Hounds. Simpkins taking over on his own 20-yard line. 3 wide receivers and a tight end in the football game. Going to elect to hand it off here on first down. Not a lot of running room there. He's going to be chased down to his own sideline for no gain.
Yeah, look like number 4, Brody Wells, coming up from his rover spot. And there we talk about the Mike linebacker spot. How's our young linebackers going to respond? Well, number 40 right there, Mikey Neal, getting outside and really doing a good job to cut down the Greenie running back. So Mikey Neal playing sideline to sideline, and not only sideline to sideline, but on the fourth down try right there for the Greenies comes up and lowers the boom as well.
Timeout on the field. Have a injured player for Cry School. Looks like it may be cramps. You definitely see that in season openers all the time. Shaking up offensive lineman Charlie Bedner, 6'3", 240.
Yeah, in the first game there was a lot of cramps going on, and the humidity factors up there.
It's hot out there.
Yeah, exactly. First game of the year, and for all the teams. So you got to kind of settle in. That's for sure. Getting ready to play 4 quarters of football, and like we touched on many times tonight, just the numbers right now aren't there for the Cry School as far as in the fatigue factor. You're seeing it right here in this third quarter.
Now you look across the sideline. Comparatively, Corbin,
yes.
99 players dressed out.
Yeah, it's just, the whole sideline, 20-yard line to 30-yard line, 30-yard line, just players everywhere. So good sight to see. And, Corbin football alive and well, that's for sure.
I'm counting about 22 on the sideline plus 11 on the field. So about 35 people for this team, all very good football players.
Yes,
this is a private school.
Very good football teams.
Go on the website, it's $52,000 a year to
Think
go
so,
there.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're a scholarship athlete, probably not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Just doing a little digging on the team. Looked like they had kids from all over the place. Quarterback's actually from Ohio.
I saw that, yeah. Quarterback from Ohio, and just finds his way to North Carolina, I guess, and has done a great job.
I guess it beats Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a boarding school, so they live there.
Okay, wow.
Interesting. They won a state title a year ago, put up some gaudy statistics en route to an 8-game season.
Yeah, we talked about it, the quarterback there, Simpkins, 68% completion percentage. So, in high school football, that's almost unheard of. And Cam Combs at 58% doing a great job. But 68% slinging the rock is a really good for a high school quarterback.
Still tending to the wounded greenie. Not sure I know what a greenie is.
Yeah, no, and it is. I was kind of wondering that myself, but
use it to give your dog pills.
Yeah, there you go.
Put the little pill down in it, and they think it's a treat. But
That's
other
right.
than that, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Heard of the mean green.
That's right.
Green waves.
That's right. Yeah, man, I tell you, bad cramps for sure. And glad, of course, it's just cramps, but really having a tough time right there.
Certainly appears so. Again,
yeah.
Humidity, the inevitable cramping during the season opener, it happens every year, and usually on both sidelines.
Yes.
Hopefully appears that is the case. He's leaving with the assistance of a couple teammates right now. They have been working on the high calf muscle. Hopefully everything's okay for the shaken up player. Cry School resumes 2nd and 10 on their own 20. Simpkins takes the snap, sets in the pocket, 3-man rush, tucks it and runs it up to the 25. Going to be hit by a host of hounds, but not before he staggers forward for a first down for the Cry School, about 13 yards on the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, look like number 56, Troy Faulkner, coming in there. Mikey Neal again in the vicinity, knocking the quarterback down. But again, nobody open downfield. Hounds defensive backs doing a good job to close the door. But Simpkins, again, being a good, smart quarterback, pulls it, tucks it, and runs for the first down. But good job by the defensive front to track down Simpkins before he could sneak away with some more yards.
8:50 remaining in the third. Corbin on top, 28-14. Season opener. Both teams trying to find their first win of the campaign. This is the first title defense for this North Carolina squad. 5 wide receivers on the field. Trips to the right, twins to the left. Simpkins hauls in the snap. Sets the throw. Loads up and fires down the right sideline. Almost intercepted over the outstretched hands. It's like Bryson Batt back there in coverage.
Yeah, I think so. Really good job by the Hounds. Notice right there, Hounds were only rushing 3. It's 1st and 10 right there on first down, and Hounds rushing 3, covering with 8. So really doing a good job, and probably, I'm sure Coach Greer obviously knows that the Hounds defensive front has done a good job stopping the run, knowing the Greenie's got to throw the football down the field, and so you put 8 in coverage, and that's what happened. So good job by the Red Hounds defense.
Historically, Coach Greer, not a fan of blitzing, loves to play base defense, keep the team in front of you. Still in a 4-man front here. spell quarterback in the game, fakes the handoff on the jet. Now he's going to keep it himself up to the 40, across the 45. That's another first down from the quarterback run all the way up to his own 47-yard line. Picked up about 14 on the quarterback read option.
It looked like Jacob Baker, the safety there. Not only is he going to kick a field goal or get touchbacks, but he can come up from the safety spot and make a tackle in space right there. Number 10, Trey Monty on the carry for the Greenies and moving the chains again.
This will be his only third rep of the game at the quarterback spot. They've used him as a running threat primarily. Now gives it underneath. Might have got a yard or two on the carry. Looks like they're liking to play the read option game. Perhaps this is an answer to the three-man rush, trying to commit more players into the box to open up the passing attack.
Yeah, exactly. And right there, Joe Brown coming in making the hit. And you're exactly right, Ronnie. You're going to try to see the Greenies, force the Hounds to bring up some more defenders to stop that run. But so far, Hounds kind of content to sit back a little bit with this lead right here.
Monty's got it in the shotgun, trips to his right. Now he's going to look to throw it. Fires out in the flat. It's hauled in and caught at the midfield stripe, and no more. Travion Longmire kills him where he catches it.
Really good job by Travion. The wide receiver out in the flat there catches the ball. Travion closes in a hurry with that really good speed and makes the hit. So brings up an important third down for the Red Hounds defense and a really important down for the Greenies on offense.
Can you kind of expect Longmire probably the remainder of his high school career will be spent on the defensive side of the ball. Committed to the University of Kentucky, where he likely will play on the defensive side of the ball as well. 6'2", 180. They lock him for that press corner spot. Monty remains in at quarterback, 3rd and 8. Twin wide receivers each side. Takes the snap. Fires the screen out in the flat to the tight end. He's going to be wrapped up in for a loss. Bryson Batt again on the stop, and another 4th down for this Greenie offense.
Man, another big hit again, and we talked about that a couple of times in the broadcast, and Coach Greer wants hitters on the defensive side of the football, and the Hounds defense not disappointing tonight. We've seen
he's got him.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen Mikey Neal, Evan Poor right there, Bryson Batt, and Braden Reynolds, a lot of those guys on the Hounds side of the football, on the defensive side of the football, just laying the wood to the Greenies tonight.
Punt formation for the Christ School. They're going to be kicking away from their own 49-yard line. Mills checks into the football game. His heels dug into his own 10. Snap is clean. Kick is up and away. No rush. It's end over end kick. Not a lot of hang time. Takes a bounce. Careens towards the goal line. Does it break the plane? And it does.
Wow.
Touchback.
Well, almost on the half-yard line right there. Couldn't see if it was going to roll in there, but it did, that's for sure. So a big break right there for the Hounds offense.
Yeah, could have been starting in the shadow of your own goalposts.
Yeah, right there on the half-yard line. So, again, just a really fortunate break and for the Hounds offense, and going to get to reset right here. 6:21 left in this third quarter. Hounds really doing a good job offensively, defensively, special teams. Look for the Hounds offense. Just come on and tack some more on right here.
Definitely look for this offensive unit probably to start slowing down the pace of the football game. Up by 2 scores. Yep. Fatigue starting to become a factor. This is 99 kids versus 35. Combs in the shotgun, trips formation. Going to load up and fire. Almost intercepted. Had a DB sniffing that bubble screen underneath. He almost took it to the house.
Yeah, looked like number 6 for the Greenies, Jacob Wagner. Not sure on that last name, but just almost you're right. Awanek, okay. Okay, Awanek, wow, okay. Just come up almost on the pick six. So, yeah, exactly. So, but really good athletic play right there by the corner for the Greenies.
2nd and 10 from the Corbin 20-yard line. Hounds elect to remain in the trips formation. They're split out to Combs' left. Gregory checked in at running back, also to his left. Delayed handoff, actually fakes it. Fires over the middle, got a receiver hauled in at the 40-yard line. Now he's going to reverse course up to the 45, up to his own 49-yard line. Xander Curry hauls it in. That's about a 29-yard, pitch and catch there.
Huge play right there by Xander Curry and the quarterback Cam Combs, and offensive line doing a good job and picking up that first down.
Timeout on the field. You indicate who took it. It's actually going to be a team timeout. Christ School going to take a minute to talk about it. We'll take one as well. 5:57 in the third. Corbin on top, 28-14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know, it's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, you know, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
I guess just got to get past Johnson Central, don't you?
5:57 remaining in the third quarter. Hounds on top, 28-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. They're on top over the Christ School Greenies, defending state champs out of North Carolina. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Hounds have it 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line. Trip set, split out to Combs' left. Now he's going to look to keep it himself, up to the midfield stripe. Finally barrels ahead, up to the 45-yard line.
Really good
Gain of
job,
5.
right? Yeah, really good job right there by the offensive line for the Hounds, kind of setting the edge right there off that right side, and getting to the corner in a hurry and moving that football down the field. So bringing up a 2nd and 4 right here for the Hounds to keep them chains moving.
2nd and 4. Actually going to give him 6 yards on the carry. Mills in at running back. Encroachment. Going to go against the defense. That's 5 free ones. Going to be an automatic first by virtue of the yardage.
Yeah, we've seen the Hounds use kind of the hard count quite a bit tonight, and it's worked almost every time. So a good job again by the offense to kind of use that hard count to move the chains, and it's a huge weapon. And anytime you get those 5 free yards, you'll take them. And the Hounds move the chains again and moving in a hurry to put some more points onto the scoreboard.
1st and 10. At the 40-yard line, knocking on the red zone. Combs in the shotgun, stays in trips. Fakes the handoff, now rolls to the left. Fires the check down to Patterson in the flat. Got it at the 40, at the 35, at the 30, where he's finally pushed out of bounds. Going to be very close to first down yardage. Believe he did get it. They're actually going to give him 12 on the reception.
Good job right there. Cam Combs kind of rolling out to the left and hitting, like you said, his check down right there, Dakota Patterson. And if you can call your check down guy Dakota Patterson, you're doing pretty good. And he gets that football and gets downfield in a hurry. So made a couple people miss and then finished the run. So good job right there by junior Dakota Patterson.
Yeah, he picked up, I think, five Division I offers in the offseason.
My goodness.
1st and 10 at the Christ School 28. Combs in the shotgun. Rolls out to the left. Designed quarterback run. Not a lot of running room there. Look where they spot it. Couldn't have got more than 2 or 3 on the scamper.
Yeah, again, just Cam Combs getting behind that left side of that offensive line. And, like you said, making a couple people miss and getting downfield a little bit. And even though, we've talked about that all night, even though that's a 2-yard gain or a 3-yard gain, and then you're going to see that big one. And you just keep pounding, and pretty soon those big runs start to come. And that's exactly what's happened tonight for the Hounds offense.
2nd and 9. Hounds have stayed in the trips. Combs operating out of the shotgun. Gregory in at running back. Got a defensive tackle in the neutral zone. No call. Guess he didn't break the plane there. Play clock under 10 seconds. Low snap, digs it out of the dirt. Now he's going to tuck it and run it. Fires the check down out in the flat. Cannot hook up with his intended wide receiver. Incomplete. Trying to find Stewart there on the check down. Just couldn't hook it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not able to connect right there. But I think you talked about earlier in the broadcast, Ronnie. Hounds just kind of slowing the pace down right before this drive. And I think it's exactly what we're seeing. Just kind of methodical drive and just banging away right here. So really good job. You see, Coach Elam over there calling the offense. He goes for those explosive plays early and just keep pounding the running game. And then things are, kind of swaying the Hounds' way, and now he starts to come back methodical. So really good called football game by Coach Elam.
3rd and 9 at the Greenie 27-yard line. Combs just going to hand off straight ahead to Gregory. He's going to plow ahead right around the 21. Picks up about 6. Needed 9 to convert. Brings up 4th and 3. Still well within the field goal range of Baker.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see Coach Greer gives him another shot right here. Looks like Hounds may be lining up to go for it so far, but a good run right there by Ethan Gregory off that left side.
4th and 3 at the 21. Definitely going to be a hard count in route. Not convinced. 15 seconds on the play clock. We'll see if they take the timeout or proceed. Looks like they will. Trips to the right, Gregory to the right. Design quarterback run. Picks up a good block from Gregory. He's got the first down at the 20. Dives ahead to the 15. Picks up 5 or 6 on the quarterback keeper. That's enough for a Red Hound first down.
Well, good job right there by the Hounds again, setting that right side, setting that right edge. And Cam Combs puts his foot in the dirt and gets downfield in a hurry. And, just looking at these stats, Cam Combs really stacking up the rushing yards at 134 yards plus right now.
Wow.
So, just doing a really good job getting behind that offensive line and attacking the Greenies from North Carolina.
Doing his best Lamar Jackson impersonation.
Exactly, that's right.
Timeout on the field. Can't see if this is a team-assessed timeout. Actually, going to make a correction to the game clock. Going to bleed off 19 seconds. Makes it 4:20 remaining in the third quarter. Slow-moving football game here in the second. The first half was action-packed.
And I think, a little bit to what you said, just kind of slowing the pace down, kind of got it in a little bit of a slower pace, and Hounds just kind of pounding away right here.
Twin wideouts each side. Combs remains in the gun, sets to throw. Going to try to find Longmire in the back of the end zone. He catches, is it in? He's in there for the touchdown!
Wow, great play right there. Cam Combs pumps the football. When he does, the corner flies a little bit, and Travion just keeps on that track and hits him in the corner like you said, Ronnie. So really good job. We saw Cam Combs run the football all the way down, then finish off with a big-time throw to Travion. So really good job by the Hounds offense on that drive right there.
Cameron Combs accounting for both of the touchdowns here in the second half. Baker on to add the extra point. Combs remains in to hold. Snap is out. Kick is up and away, nearly blocked, but it's up through the uprights for 1. 4:05 remaining in the third quarter. Hounds extend their lead 35-14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Oh, man, this is hard.
That's 250.
I know.
And then a passing touchdown. That's, I don't know. It's hard.
4:05 remaining in the third quarter. Corbin blows open their lead 35-14 over the North Carolina-based Christ School Greenies. 35 unanswered for the group in red here in the Pigskin Classic. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And quite a spectacle here in the second half, JB, from your quarterback.
Just an explosion from the Red Hounds, and, just doing a great job in this second half, that's for sure.
Baker puts the toe to it. It's a high end-over-end kick, going to be fielded in the end zone. Another touchback from Baker.
Yeah, it's almost just automatic. I mean, I think it's getting up there so many. Is that 6, I think? Is that right?
I think that's 6. Oh, 7.
7, wow. 7 touchbacks.
That's why we have a statistician.
That's right. All right. 7 touchbacks. And
unheard of.
51-yard field goal.
Unheard of.
Unbelievable. And then, Cam Combs coming in there as well. So just a great performance tonight by the offense. And then, of course, the defense, once they kind of settled in after those first couple drives, been played lights out all night long as well.
Simpkins checking back in at quarterback. Looks like both quarterbacks are back there, actually. Hands off to Monty, the backup running back. Not a lot there. Might have surged forward for a yard or two on the inside zone play.
I think Big Braden Reynolds, number 41, getting off the pile down in there. I saw Mikey Neal in the neighborhood. Just number 54, Joe Brown closing. I mean, just that whole defensive front really working well together to get the run stuffed, and then it forces you into to passing situations. So anytime you've got you're kind of behind the chains on offense, you've got to pull the trigger and throw the football. And Simpkins a great quarterback for the Greenies, but Hounds doing a great job on defense on the back end as well.
2nd and 8, 4 wide receivers. Simpkins got some time, fires the out route, hauled in and caught. At the line of scrimmage, might have picked up a yard. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stick. Picked up 10 yards on the pitch and catch. That's going to be a touchdown. First down.
Yeah, good
I'm
job.
busy trying to tabulate some stats of my own right now. My apologies.
Yeah, number 20, Bryce Sane coming out there, split out, and makes a good catch right near the sideline. So, number 20, the running back for the Greenies, has done a really, a pretty good job overall, but just been harassed by that defensive front for the Hounds all night long.
1st and 10, the Kreiskel 31-yard line. Greenies staying in the shotgun. Clean pocket. Fires the comeback route on the away sideline, hauled in and caught. Picks up about 12. That's enough for another first down.
Looks like another set of cramps right there on the receiver there. Tristan Ward just caught that football for the Greenies. Just went straight down and, got a cramp right there. Looks like, again, on the sideline. But, the fatigue starting to set in for the Greenies. And I think it's just, the sheer numbers. The Hounds in the Greenies. So, a good job right there by the Hounds defense. Bend but don't break. You saw a receiver going to go deep, pulls up, makes a good catch on the sideline.
1st and 10 at the Greenie 44-yard line, trailing by 21 to the Hounds. Fakes the handoff, fires out in the flats on the tunnel screen. Edges it ahead to the 50-yard line, picks up about 6 on the pitch and catch.
Yeah, pretty good pitch and catch right there. That's right, Ronnie. And again, we see number 9, Bryson Batt, come up and make a pretty good hit right there. So again, if you're going to get hit every single time you catch that football, you start getting a little itchy. When you go out for that pass, you're going to get stuck every time, and makes you think about it a little bit. So great to see the Hounds defenders, defensive backs, linebackers coming up and really putting a hit on the Greenies from North Carolina.
2nd and 4. Simpkins throws the out route in and out of his receiver's hands, almost picked off. Longmire was standing there with his arms open, couldn't haul it in on the deflection.
Yeah, almost a huge play right there for the Hounds defense. No doubt if Travion was able to come up with that football, he's running into the end zone about now. So, really good job again, bringing up about a 3rd and 3 right here, 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Hounds on top 35-14, and just looking to get off the field right here on 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3.
Another 3rd down. This unit has not been in a lot of 3rd and short situations. No errant snaps in the second half been plaguing their offense, but it's really just been stifling defense from Corbin. 2 running backs in the backfield. Hands off to the big fullback. He's got the first down into Red Hound territory, finally brought down at the Red Hound 41-yard line, gain of about 8 or 9. That's enough for the first.
Yeah, move the chains right there. A good run off tackle right there by Cooper Perrone, the fullback, like you said, for the Greenies. And then Mikey Neal coming up and finishing the runner off right there. But again, moving the chains, minute 48 and counting right here in this third quarter.
Clock continuing to turn. Hounds protecting their 3-touchdown lead. Timeout on the field. Looks like it's another official timeout. Going to bleed 20 more seconds off the clock down to 1:20. Almost to the fourth quarter. The sign of fatigue is very evident on the tail of 2 sidelines right now. This North Carolina program, definitely talented, but 33 players taking on a 99-man roster.
Right.
It's tough.
Always tough.
Simpkins takes the snap. He's under pressure, evades the sack, now sets his feet, fires into the flat, hauled in and caught. Picks up about 3. Good little improv play there from the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Mikey Neal closing in again to make another tackle. But you're right, Ronnie. You see the poise of Simpkins, the quarterback, able to avoid the sack, spins out of it, and, and hits the receiver on the sideline to move the chains down the field. But Hounds really, really kind of dialing it up a little bit, pinning their ears back, if you will, knowing that the Greenie's going to have to throw the football.
105. Monty checked in at quarterback. He's the backup quarterback. They've used him to run, has thrown it on occasion. Quarterback keeper, straight ahead, up to the 30, lowering his shoulder to the 25. It's going to be enough to move the chains, put him down into the Red Hound red zone.
He looked like number 15, Evan Poore. And again, Mikey Neal, the inside backer, one of the inside backers for the Hounds, doing another good job. So, it's good to know you can have a freshman in there. Mikey Neal is a freshman again this year. So, going to see him for a long time sitting in there at that middle backer.
Unreal. Simpkins checks back in. He does handle the majority of the quarterbacking duties for this squad. Making some adjustments. Now he checks in Monty. Also spelling at halfback. Takes the snap. Throws the stop route.
Wow.
Almost intercepted. He telegraphed that throw, and Longmire almost got underneath it, took it to the house.
Chomping at the bit right there, and you saw right there exactly why he's headed to Big Blue Nation next year. I mean, just kind of sitting back, baiting the receiver, waiting on it, and when he saw the ball release, was just attacking the football and able to come up with, like you said, Ronnie, he's in the end zone again. So almost 2 for 2 on taking them to the house. So great defensive play right there by Travion Longmire.
22 seconds remaining in the third. One of the longest quarters of football you'll ever see.
Yeah, exactly.
2nd and 10 at the Red Hound 26-yard line. 3 wide receivers and a wing. Snap, ball on the ground. Running back picks it up out of the dirt. Nowhere to go from there. He's going to retreat and lose a yard or two. Brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, right there, Simpkins almost, you hate to say it, almost like lackadaisical. Just, just had enough. He's tired and, and not able to handle the ball right there. And lucky for the Greenies, number 10, it looks like Trey Monty picked it up and we got a little bit back, but still a 3rd down right here.
Flag down on the play. 3rd quarter continuing to refuse to die. Unsportsmanlike conduct being assessed against both squads. Offsetting penalties. Of course, the second one can get you tossed.
That's right.
I don't think an ejection here would affect these guys too much.
No, I don't
an ejection
think so.
in Kentucky
That's right.
kills you in North Carolina.
That's right.
Don't foresee that being too much of an issue. Both teams have played really disciplined football in terms of temperament.
Yeah, exactly. 2 great football teams just slugging it out right here. And, really, we've talked about it so many times, but just the war of attrition just settled in right here on the Greenies tonight.
3rd and long. Simpkins takes a snap, pump fakes, fires deep down the left sideline. Got a receiver in and out of his hands, incomplete. Just dropped it. Did have a step on the DB, but couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, right there, Evan Poore in coverage, and you're right. Number 2, Zach Myers, had to step on Poore a little bit, and a good ball by Simpkins, but just in and out of his hands. So, again, it looks like a 4th down coming up for the Greenies.
3 in the books and 1 to go at the end of the 3rd quarter. Hounds on top 35-14 in the Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
At the top of the fourth quarter, the Hounds leading 35-14 over the visiting Christ School Greenies from North Carolina. The Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Greenies staring down the barrel of a long fourth down, 4th and 11 at the Red Hound 27-yard line, 5 wide receivers. Simpkins takes the snap, sets the throw, 3-man rush, flushed out of the pocket. Going to be wrestled down and sacked for a loss. That's going to be another turnover on downs for this defense.
Great job right there. Coach Greer only rushes 3 and plays coverage with a Hunter Upchurch coming right off the football, sacking Simpkins in the backfield. And like you said, turnover on downs right here. And, it could have been a huge play for the Greenies to kind of keep their hopes alive. But down 35-14, just the start of this fourth quarter, and the Hounds getting the football back. Going to be tough sledding for the Greenies in this football game the rest of the way tonight.
11:55 remaining in the football game. Hounds taking over on downs on their own 35-yard line. They've reeled off 35 unanswered in this contest since falling behind 14-0. Combs going to open in the shotgun with Mills as his running back. Mills gets the call. Not a lot of running room there. Probably lost a yard on the carry.
Yeah, I think so. May have lost a yard. And, the Greenies' interior defensive linemen are really, kind of short, a little bit stout in there, quick feet, and just doing a good job to shed a blocker up front right there and find Mills in the backfield. Looked like for the Greenies, number 51, Jacob Halfacre again on the tackle. So brings up a 2nd and 11 right here for the Hounds offense.
Combs in the gun. 4 wide, hard count. No bite from the defense. Play clock inside 10 seconds. Combs takes the snap, designed quarterback run across the right side. Staggers forward to about the 43. Might have picked up 4 or 5 on the carry.
It looks like going to bring up a 3rd down right here and another one of those runs, just that 4, 5, 6-yard run. Cam Combs hitting it up in there again. And, carried the football a lot tonight. Just, a lot of carries for Cam Combs and done a great job to run the football for the Hounds.
3rd and long. Combs remaining in the shotgun. Hounds going with the no-huddle attack but draining the clock. There's some strategy to this. You're forcing the defense to remain in defensive position while the clock runs. Just adds to the fatigue. High snap. Rocket screen caught by Patterson in the flat. He'll surge ahead. Depending on the official spot, he's very close to 1st down yardage.
Really good job right there, Dakota Patterson. Exactly, we said it earlier in the game. You just get him the ball in his hands, and he puts the gas pedal down and plows forward. And just a good run right there by Dakota Patterson.
Official spot brings up 4th down. It looks like we've had a couple players
just took a seat.
Taking a seat. I'm not sure if it's a cramp or a very intelligent faking of an injury.
Yeah.
I'm not going to accuse anybody of faking an injury, but it looked like he may have bit down. Going to win a Grammy or an Oscar nonetheless.
That was, I think so. Just kind of took a seat right there on the Red Hound C. And not sure exactly.
Doesn't look too extensive of work they're doing on the calf.
Yeah, just a little bit. So maybe he'll be able to walk that off.
Oh, I've not seen that in a while. Heads up play, very cerebral group. This is a smart football team.
Oh, they are a really good football team. I mean, you mentioned, of course, they won the state championship, so really good football team, doing a great job all the way from North Carolina and come in here and really challenge the Hounds. So good job right there and a really smart play, like you said.
Same player again. We called his name a couple times. Quentin Cancel committed Ole Miss, play the athlete spot, so that could be anything from slot to wide out to defensive back. We've seen him make a couple really good defensive plays in this football game.
Yes, he has been all over the place as well, and just done a good job for the Greenies. So they're going to be getting a good football player. That's right in college football. So a really good job by Quentin Council, and hopefully he's going to pop up from that injury and bounce right off the field.
Leaves under his own power. He's been nominated for his acting performance.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was seeing 2 guys fall down both grabbing their calves and
Yes.
leaving the field. Nonetheless, that'll get you fined in the NFL.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Combs going to operate out of a wildcat look. Braden Reynolds checks in at the fullback. Brings Mills in motion. Fakes that handoff. Keeps it himself up the middle. Staggers forward for 2 to 3 yards. That's enough to keep the sticks and the clock moving.
Yeah, first down, Hounds, move the chains, and you look up at that clock. Yeah, like you said, Ronnie, look at that clock, 10 minutes, getting ready to run under 10 minutes right here. Hounds up 35-14, just trying to, slow this football game down again, kind of work that clock a little bit. And, that big lead right there, just leaning on that big offensive line, and Cam Combs' running ability. Just looking at the stats, Cam Combs carried the football so far tonight, 15 attempts and counting right here.
1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Combs loads up to throw the ball, drops it. Going to have to eat it. Oh, new quarterback checking into the game.
Yeah, it looks like Cade Elam coming in there and maybe getting Cam Combs out. I'm not sure if he's getting him out for the game or just getting him out for a play or two. But, yeah, Cade Elam, the freshman quarterback for the Hounds.
His first action here at Campbell Field.
Really good
under
quarterback.
the lights.
Yeah, really good quarterback. Last year led his Corbin Middle School team to a state championship and just is a really good, smart quarterback.
Elam in the gun. Handoff straight ahead to Mills. He's up at the 50.
There he goes.
At the 40. Hit from behind. Still staggers forward up to his own 40-yard line. Going to pick up about 16 or 17 on the carry. That's enough for a Red Hound first down.
Yeah, good job right there, Seth Mills, just hitting it off that right side, putting the gas pedal down again and making a couple people miss, and just gets tripped up by the Greeny defender. If not for the kind of the trip there, he's sitting in the end zone right now towards the popcorn line, that's for sure.
1st and 10, surging down into Greeny territory. Elam in the gun. Keeps it himself across the left side, picking up a couple blocks. Gets leveled on the far sideline. Picks up 2 or 3 on the carry. Boy, he takes a shot.
Yeah,
flag down behind the play.
Took a big shot right there. And going to reset here. Play's going to come back. But, yeah, Elam coming in there, the freshman quarterback, taking a big shot, gets welcome to high school football right there. Unfortunately for the Hounds, but, hey, bounces right up, ready to go again. So good sight to see right there for the Hounds offense.
Holding is the call. Going to push the ball back into Red Hound territory. Back to where the drive, close to where the drive started, the 48. A new quarterback checking into the game, Cade Elam. A lot of excitement about him. Of course, the son of the offensive coordinator.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
A lot of folks have preached how mechanically sound he is to be such a young quarterback.
Yeah, hard to believe, Cade. Just a really good quarterback and does a really good job. Very smart.
He'll operate out of the shotgun. He's going to fake the handoff and roll to the right. Fires in the flat. Finds Patterson at the midfield stripe. He'll tiptoe ahead for a couple more. Finally notched down at the Greeny 47-yard line. Picks up about 5 there on the check down.
Yeah, checked it down again to Dakota Patterson, and we've seen that route a lot by Dakota tonight. And about every time he's got that route out in space, just tucks the ball away, heads upfield, gets north and south, and gets positive yards. And so good job right there by junior Dakota Patterson.
Brings up 2nd and 19. Hound's going to remain in the shotgun. Been there most of the game, be there most of the season. Get Elam in at quarterback. Gregory is his running back. Twin wideout split out to each side. Sets the throw. Got some time. Lofts one up, trying to find Patterson. Almost picked off. Tried to find his big receiver out in double coverage. No one home.
Yeah, running right towards the goalpost there. And, you get a big receiver like that. A lot of times, they call those 50-50 balls where you just, the quarterback's going to trust you. You're going to trust the quarterback. You throw it up there. The big guy goes up and gets it. And I'm sure Dakota this year will come down with a lot of those 50-50 balls. That's for sure.
You might call that a 60-40.
That's right. That's right.
He is big.
Yes, he is, and knows what to do. Just got good ball awareness, knows how to run good routes, and that's one of the reasons he's one of the most sought-after juniors in the state of Kentucky right now.
Another shaken-up player on the field. You can tell the signs of fatigue starting to set in on both sidelines, but Cry School playing with a roster of about 35 kids in this humidity, and especially this early in the season. It's very tough to weather a four-quarter game without cramps.
Yeah, it is, and you spoke to it earlier too, Ronnie. You know, the game has just, been an extended, long game as well. And a lot of passes, and, the ball's on the ground, so that's going to stop the clock. And so, we're looking at, heading towards midnight right now, still playing football on Campbell Field. So
That's
a
right.
really long football game, and that's not going to help it with the fatigue at all either. So, just a lot of fatigue setting in for the Greenies tonight.
No, a lot of the way these teams have thrown the ball here, some in the second half. Corbin pretty much stuck it out on the ground.
That's right.
That's where they've wanted to be. Kind of known that about this football team coming into it, plus some additions coming down the line. Going to make this very much a ground-oriented team.
Yep, exactly, and I think that's important. Establish a line of scrimmage. That's what we said that tonight. Coach Greer wants to establish a line of scrimmage, get behind that big offensive line, and attack people, wear down people, assert the Hounds' will, if you will, and just kind of wear down on people, kind of like what we saw tonight. The Greenies just kind of run out of gas, and that'll be kind of the Hounds' go-to all season long.
Cry School player leaving under his own power. Tristan Ward, seen a lot out of him both offensively and defensively tonight. Third and long for the Red Hound offense. Ball's at the Greenie 47-yard line, 19 to go to convert the first down. They lead 35-14 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. Takes a snap, loads up to throw, fires a bomb down the left sideline. He's got Longmire, hauls it in, but incomplete, out of bounds. Got flags down on the play. Got your quarterback fixing his jersey and his helmet, probably looking at roughing.
I think so. Looks like they might have exactly hit after the play, and going to be 15 yards. Tough break right there for the Greenies. It was third and long, and now it's automatic first down, is it?
Should be automatic.
Yeah, I believe that's automatic.
Personal
first
foul
down.
supposed to be.
Yep, exactly.
There's one exception to that. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but this is automatic.
Yeah, I think that's where I was going. I was like, well, no, wait a minute here. Is that right? But, yeah, it's automatic first down. So, tough penalty, tough break for the Greenies right there.
Clock becoming the enemy here for the visiting Cry School Greenies as it's 35-14 and winding. 7:36 on the clock. Elam remains in the shotgun. Twin wideouts split out each side. Hard count. No one encroaching in the neutral zone. He'll reset Gregory over to his right. Takes the snap, loads up the throw. Tunnel screen hauled in by Patterson out in the flat. Not a lot of running room there. He might have extended to account for a yard or two. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, not much right there. Again, Dakota Patterson coming down with the football, trying to create some space, but, just like you said, a yard or two gain. But, again, the clock keeps running down in almost inside 7 minutes. Hounds with a 35-14 lead here in this fourth quarter. So, Hounds really in command right here.
Second down. Elam hands it off to Mills to the left side. Gets upended right around the 30. Extends out to the 28-yard line. Picks up a yard or two on the carry. Another flag down on the play.
Yeah, some kind of probably unsportsmanlike looks like. Not sure just yet, but could be. But again, on that carry right there, Seth Mills getting out to the corner in a hurry, out to the edge in a hurry, picking up a few yards. But that may change according to what the penalty flag is right here.
What otherwise was a clean game in terms of penalties has really turned into kind of a penalty fest. You kind of expect that in your first outing.
Exactly.
I mean, mistakes.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Really some snap infractions kind of spelled some doom and switched some momentum. Unsportsmanlike conduct assessed against the Red Hounds.
Yeah, going to cost the Hounds 15 yards right here and bring up 3rd and long.
That'll drive the football back. Still walking. Right around the 43, I think. Yep. 3rd and very long.
Yeah,
Clock becoming more important than yardage and score at this point.
Exactly, yeah. May see Kate Elam throw one down the field right here, third and really long. So See if the young freshman can step in there and maybe complete a pass down the field.
He's certainly not afraid to try.
That's right.
Lytham takes the snap. He rolls to the right, looking. Loads up and fires on the comeback route. Tries to find Patterson. Pops out of his hands. Incomplete. Ball was on the money. That might have been Longmire. It was.
Oh, yeah, Travion right out there. And you're right. Yeah, good throw by Cade Elam, the freshman. And
another flag down.
Just kind of bounced out of the hands of Travion.
This is reminiscent of the Corbin Bell County game 3 seasons ago where we had 26 flags.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Took 2 days to play.
Yeah.
We wrapped it up on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, you're right. We're headed that way.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
14 penalty flags. This is from two what appears to be very disciplined football teams. This is going to be a sideline warning against the offense. They can pick that up. Corbin will have to establish a get-back coach.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get back coach and need to get him going a little bit more. But, yeah, you're right. 6:35 left in this football game and, running a little bit slow right here.
Hounds on to punt it first time of the game. Baker actually more sought after as a punter than a kicker.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Going to try to cough and corner it here. He's kicking from his own 43-yard line. Clean snap, puts a toe to it. It's a high spiraling kick, careening towards the goal line and dies inside the 5. Wow.
My goodness.
What a kick.
My goodness. Yeah, and of course, he knows how to do that. I don't, of course, know how to do that, but he knows how to punt that football, whether it almost check up like a pitching wedge down there inside the 5-yard line. So really good job, Jacob Baker. Just, you think, just by chance he might mess up every now and then, but he's been perfect tonight. Just
that's
perfect.
40-yard punt pinned inside the 5.
Unbelievable. Just perfect.
There's lots of Division I schools that would like to have a special teams unit like that.
Yes, exactly.
Very impressive outing from the junior.
Yeah, first punt of the season, he just checks it up inside the 10-yard line. Wow.
.630 and change remaining in the football game. Corbin's been on top 35-14 for a minute. Both teams now going to the reserve units. Christ School going to go with a backup quarterback. Flag down on the play. Now listen, the wide receiver left a fraction of a second early. It's a 3-touchdown game. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
Come
okay.
on.
It's okay.
Let him have it.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Come on, fellas. We're trying our best to beat Saturday.
That's
on
right.
The conclusion, but it's
That's
not
right.
going to happen. Pigskin happens on Saturday anyways, right?
Yeah, that's right. It usually does. That's right.
Monty loads up to throw, fires a dart over the middle. Incomplete. Pass interference to call. That's a bad call. That was good coverage.
Yeah, really good tight coverage right there, but you're right. Going to be Hound's going to draw the pass interference right there. Another penalty.
Yep.
Another penalty.
That was, in my view, a bad call, but kind of academic. Evan Poor there, tight coverage. They get him for the flag, but he's in vicinity playing tight. I tell him to keep playing the same way.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Ronnie, you want to keep your defensive backs, being aggressive, and you don't want them to check up soft or anything. So, yeah, Evan Poor to it. That's right.
He's had a good game.
He sure has.
Monty takes the snap, loads up to fire. He's going to try Evan Poor again. It's a duck, though, over his head and incomplete. Pass lands out of bounds. He leads his poor receiver into the fence.
Yeah. Really good job by Evan Poor, just running stride for stride right there, doing a good job after getting the penalty called. And, Evan Poor, really good defensive back, does a great job in coverage, and then he'll come up and hit you pretty hard too. So Evan Poor, just a great defensive back for the Red Hounds.
Trying to find Zach Myers out there, speedy wide receiver, listed at 6'2", 190, playing wide out. Looks like a linebacker.
Yes, big receiver. That's right.
He has showed some wheels in space, though, and has put some separation out there. Very talented wide receiver. 6:06 left on the clock. Monty and company remain in the shotgun on their own 18-yard line. 3 wide and a wing on the field. High snap, design quarterback run, going to cut back against the grain to his own sideline. Poor going to uproot him and put him where he left.
Evan Poor coming up and laying it again. You see him running 30, 40 yards down the field in coverage, and then right there comes up and makes a big hit in space. So just a really, really good defensive back for the Red Hounds. Kind of leading that secondary, really, just doing a great job.
No gain on the play. Red Hounds are 5.5 minutes to notching win number 1 on the season. Poor is clutching that shoulder. He did land a little awkwardly on the tackle. Remains in the football game. Monty remains in the shotgun, 5 wide receivers. Hounds bring a blitz. Fires over the middle. Trying to hook up his wide receiver, incomplete. Another good coverage. Called for pass interference. My goodness.
Yeah, looked like really good
That's
timing
awful.
right there. Travion Longmire in the coverage. Looked like he broke on the ball really well and kind of got there pretty much same time as the ball did, but official throws the flag again. I think that's almost 4 out of 5 flags.
Wow, that's pretty rough night out for the officiating crew. I mean, I think both sidelines are kind of agreeing to let's get this over.
I think so, yeah. And I think what I was trying to say, it looked like almost four flags out of the last 5 plays, maybe 4 flags out of the last 6 plays. So the laundry is definitely on the field in this fourth quarter.
First down, 15-yard penalty. Moves up to the Greeny 34-yard line. Monty and company remain in the gun. Takes the snap and sets the throw. Fires to the running back out in the flat. Hauled in at the 40. Puts the brakes on at the 45. Another spin at the 50. Surges ahead down inside Red Hound territory. Finally up to the Corbin 48-yard line before he's brought to rest.
Yeah, Brody Wells coming in and closing the door right there. But, again, number 20, Bryce Sane, the running back for the Greenies, doing a good job making a lot of people miss out in space. And, not a really, really big running back. But I tell you what, he has played really tough tonight and done a good job for the Greenies, even though the Greenies down right here 35-14. And another flag on the field. Looks like this may be against the Hounds sideline. And
I think so.
Yeah, I think
second.
The warning's passed, so this one's probably going to count, looks like. But
I don't recall ever seeing one actually stick before.
Yeah.
An actual sideline
That's
warning,
right.
second and fence.
That's right.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. It's interesting. The officials have contributed to 45 yards of this drive.
Yes, they have. And they definitely put their hat in the ring on this drive.
They get their way out there. Cover the spread, maybe.
But, yeah, ball moving down the field. And, 35-14, 454 to go in this fourth quarter. And Hounds defense, trying to keep the Greenies out of the end zone, that's for sure.
Have preserved what has been about a 3-quarter shutout.
Yes.
Monty and the crew are on the move. Takes a snap out of the shotgun. Under some pressure, spins out, keeps looking downfield, finds his running back leaking out of the backfield. He's going to take it into the end zone for 6. That's his second touchdown of the game.
Yeah, I just talked about number 20, Bryce Sane for the Greenies. Really good running back. You get him the football out in space. He's got a lot of quick feet, a lot of good moves, and able to make a lot of people miss. And we saw it again right there. Nobody around. Nobody could get him down.
I think that's going to get called back. I think he left the field to play. You got an official with his hat off over there.
Yeah, went out of bounds and come back in, right. But, I think you're right, Ronnie, going to come back right here. But, again, just seeing the offensive threat that Sane is for the Greenies.
Illegal contact or illegal touching. I can't recall the specific term. Legal touching. There we go. You cannot be the first player to have contact with the football once you leave the field of play voluntarily. What otherwise was a good improv play from the backup quarterback.
Yes, it was. Bought a lot of time scrambling around, and Hounds, I think, only rushed 3 there, but still a really good job kind of buying time for Sane to break open.
Penalty of back it up 5. or actually just nullify the play, brings up 2nd and 9. I do not see them assess a penalty or a yardage penalty for the infraction. Nonetheless, brings up 2nd and 9 from the Red Hound 33. Monty remains in the gun. Clean pocket's going to be a screen hauled in. Going to be tracked down from behind from Braden Reynolds, the defensive tackle. And flags come a-flying. JB, we're going to have to try to beat Sunday.
Yes, I think so. I thought we were calling high school sports. I didn't know we'd moved into college.
Yeah. I have 5 flags across the field,
Wow.
man.
But yeah, we're passing the midnight hour, looks like.
I think this is an unsportsmanlike going to be tacked against the offense based on the reaction of the sideline over on the Corbin side.
Yeah, officials again figuring it out right here, talking, circling up, and going to give us a call right here just shortly. But again, just flags all over the field right there. Again, 4 minutes, 33 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Hounds up 35-14.
Unsportsmanlike. Going to get tagged against the offense.
Yeah, going back the other way right here. So marking off 15 more yards. Going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Greenies. Looks like about 3rd and 18, 3rd and 19. And Greeny's going to try to keep the chains moving right here on 3rd and long.
Loads up the snap. Pocket collapsing, fires over the middle. Jumps up, makes a heck of a catch. Going to be close to first down yardage. Hounds playing in a little cushion defense.
Yeah, Hounds kind of playing back, trying to keep things in front, no explosive plays. And number 7, Caden Jones, makes a really good catch across the middle for the Greenies and moves the chains right there. So first down right here for the Greenies. Set the sticks, 4:20 and counting right here in the football game.
Low snap, digs it out of the dirt. Sits in the pocket, fires out to the right. Hauls it in and catches it. We wrestled down by Evan Poor right around the point of catch.
Yeah, Evan Poor doing a good job coming up again from his corner spot to make a hit. And again, clock moving inside, 4 minutes now. Brings up 2nd and about 3 or 4 right here for the offense of the Greenies.
Monty loads up to throw. Controlled rush. Now he's going to tuck it and run it. Puts a move on. Staggering towards the end zone. Believe he's going to get in there for the touchdown, and he does.
Yeah, Monty with some good moves and tucking and running up in there and put some points on the board for the Greenies right there to cut into this Hound lead. But still, even after that touchdown, still a two touchdown lead for the Hounds. So, 3:41 to go. I'm sure the Hounds will come right out here, slow the football game down again, and try to get that clock moving towards 0.
On to add the PAT. High snap, but it's kicked up and away. Looks like it's good, and it is. So 3:41 in the ball game. Kreischool Straggers closer, 35-21. Here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
3:41 remaining in the football game. Hounds up on top, 35-21 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic, brought to you by the Red Hound Varsity Club. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth, and it's been all Hound since about the first quarter on. Of course, Kreischool did just punch one in the end zone here on a benefit of a few penalties. Now it looks like they'll line up to kick the PAT, or to kick the onside kick. We've been here too long. I'm starting to drag my words.
That's right, yeah. I think they're lining up, going to try to get the football back right here.
Kick is short, going to be easily fielded inside the Red Hound 40-yard line. Mills there to safely tuck it to his chest and fall to the ground.
Yeah, good job, Seth Mills, just kind of catching the little grounder right there and playing shortstop for the Hounds and making a good job on the recovery. And you're the Hounds right here, just going to come out, try to move the chains a little bit, try to let this clock run down, and get out of here hopefully before midnight with a win. Looks like trying to see who the quarterback was in there. Looks like Kate Elam in there again. So Kate Elam, the freshman, in there at quarterback.
True freshman, which everyone's a true freshman in high school, but truly true his first game. Going to hand off up the middle to Mills. He's going to make a jump cut to the outside at the 40. Safely slide down to keep that clock running. That's a cerebral play from your senior.
Yeah, it's a really good move and a really good cut right there to kind of get to the outside in a hurry, and then just kind of goes to the ground to keep that clock running, and brings up right here a second and really short. And again, almost clocked to check in inside 3 minutes. 35-21, Hounds with the lead late in this fourth quarter.
Clock continuing to grind inside 3 minutes. Elam hauls in the snap, just going to hand it off again. Mills has got the first down. Again, slides down at the 45 of the Christ School. Going to keep that clock grinding. First down, Corbin.
Yeah, they'll reset the chains, and then that clock keeps grinding. So now checking in almost inside, closing in on 2 minutes. And, the Hounds being really smart right here, protecting the football and doing a good job.
Clock eclipsing 2 minutes. His ball resting at the Christ School 45-yard line. 2-touchdown lead here. Hounds just trying to grind it out. See this one to completion. Handoff goes to Gregory. Gets upended and staggers forward up to the 42-yard line. Picks up about 3 on the carry. Christ School going to burn a timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. 2 minutes left in the football game. Corbin on top, 35-21. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T103.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means 2 things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by Southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on U.S. Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
It's a 4-hour game. Two minutes remaining in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. It's been a grinder. We're into Saturday, folks. It's been a 4-hour football game, replete with penalties and passing yards and all of the works, but Hounds on top, 35-21, trying to close it out here at Campbell Field. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Elam in at quarterback, mop-up duties, handoff straight ahead to Gregory, bounces off a wave of defenders, surges ahead to the 34, or the 39, excuse me. That's going to notch him another 2 yards on the rushing total. Christ School going to burn another timeout.
Yeah, good job right there by Gregory, kind of hitting it up in there, bouncing off, and getting a few extra yards. So another timeout here by the Christ School Greenies. So just, 1:51 left in this football game, 35-21, fourth quarter. And Hounds just looking to get rid of that clock and get out of here with a win. Again,
Hounds are moving ahead. Going to be 1-0, pretty much academic. I mean, anything can happen in a minute 51.
That's right.
Does not appear to have that kind of vibe at the moment.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And I think, early in the broadcast, Ronnie, you talked about it, the fatigue factor. And I think that's been probably the biggest factor in the football game for the Greenies is, that fatigue. We've seen a lot of cramps tonight from the Greenies of North Carolina.
3rd and medium. Elam takes the snap, gives ahead. He's going to get the first down, and Mills going to fall down at the opposing 32-yard line. That brings us inside a minute 45. I believe the Christ School out of timeouts.
Yeah, I think so. Clock's just going to continue to move now, and another good smart play by senior Seth Mills. Picks up the first down, gets down again, and clock continuing to run. But Greenies traveled a long way to come here to kick off this season for the Hounds and for the Greenies as well. And started off to be a football game where we thought maybe the Hounds was in trouble. Hounds settle in and take it to the Greenies probably from about late in the first quarter on. It's been all Hounds, and just really scored a lot of points. Offense been great, defense played well. Just an all around good performance and opening football game for the Corbin Red Hounds tonight.
1:20. Lots of folks ready to get out of here. I don't think there's any dispute from either sideline. They're ready to pack it up.
That's right.
It's a good way to get somebody hurt when games drag like
exactly,
this.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that a minute or two ago. Good to see, like we've talked about, Seth Mills just, getting the first down and getting down. You don't want to see anybody get injured for the Greenies or for the Hounds, either way, anytime, but especially this late in the football game. So just good to kind of let this one tick down to 0 and then move on to next week.
Officials still wrestling with the clock. They've wrestled with a lot.
Yes, exactly.
Wrestling with my bedtime right now.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I think some folks are sticking around. Of course, got a lot of parents and family in town for the big Pigskin Classic. They are advertising, supposed to show off the lights and these new capability they've got. We've got the Alabama style or the Baltimore Raven style lights that are able to put on a light show and have different colors, and pretty big investment into Campbell Field here.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of times, after the game you see people staying around for the fireworks. We're staying around for the light show here, so.
Hounds in victory formation. They do that out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Elam falls to a knee. Now it's all academic as the clock runs inside 1 minute. Hounds going to improve to 1-0. Going to upset the title defense run of the Greenies from the Christ School in North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. Defending state champions, the Greenies from Carolina, like you said earlier, Ronnie, and huge win right here in this Varsity Club Pigskin Classic, and kind of set this Hounds 2021 season in motion.
The Hounds don't have to snap the football again. They're going to elect not to as the numbers continue to dwindle. Hard-fought football game, very long, very drawn out. But at the end of the day, the Hounds prevail. They move on to 1-0 on the season. Again, Red Hounds always a tough out here at Campbell Field on the Pigskin. A lot of teams, good teams have fallen here to the Hounds, and here's another one.
Yeah, I think so. The Greenies roll in here. The Hounds not knowing what to expect. Just reading all the press clippings, defending state champions. So you're going to be running into a really good football team, and the Hounds did. The Greenies from North Carolina, great football team, well coached. Defending state champs, like we said. But the Hounds almost running this year. After getting bumped out of the playoffs by Johnson Central. Talked to some of the guys, Coach Greer and the staff as well. And almost kind of like they've got a chip on their shoulder. They're ready to settle down and ready to go and get to work. And the Hounds did just that, kind of settled in after that second quarter and played great football.
Light show on the field. That's a new one here at Campbell Field, showing off this new technology. But we've been on air a long time. Thank you for still dedicating and listening. We're moving on to the next week ahead on the season. Again, your MVPs for the night's contest. It's a surprise, I'll go ahead and tell you, because we got to vote on it. It's Jacob Baker.
That's right.
51-yarder, broke the school record tonight at Corbin High School with a 51-yard field goal. He was 3 of 3 with 7 touchbacks and 1 punt, went inside the 5.
Yeah, what else?
40 yards. Hounds will be on the road a week from now down in Williamsburg on the Whitley County High School campus, taking on the Colonels in the Backyard Brawl, the first Priority Bowl. Hounds will look to move to 2-0 on the season. But for us, I'm tired. You're tired. It's time to get out of here. So at the end of the day, Corbin wins 35-21 here in the Cumberland Falls Pigskin Classic. Thanks for JB for all the expert color commentary. Thanks for Jenny for the stats. Thanks everybody back in the station. I'm Ronnie Bowling. This has been Red Hound Football on T107.